This program is brought to you by Town Billiards.
Too fast, too fly, too flaunt it, too gas, too high, yeah, we on it. We go wherever the crew going. I'm ready, so tell me who want it.
Evening, welcome back to the Super Series pool here on Free Sports. We've got two absolute belters for you this evening as the stakes are raised even higher with £9,000 on the line tonight. First up is Ben Clayton versus Jordan Sillett. Simon Webb caught up with both players.
Great to have you here at the Shootout Showdown. Tonight's your first time on live TV, your first time on Free Sports. How excited to get out there and showcase what you can do, and any extra nerves ahead of tonight?
Yeah, there's definitely a bit of extra nerves. Can't wait to get playing. Obviously it's a short format, but looking forward to it.
Great to have you here at the Shootout Showdown. Tonight's your first go on live TV, first time on Free Sports. How excited to get going, and is there any extra nerves with it being your first time on TV?
Yeah, there is the nerves there, but I'm excited playing for the money, like the money games, and I think in front of the TV light I should bring out my best side, hopefully, so fingers crossed, yeah.
Get your thoughts on the format. It is a short format, but obviously the short shot clock and the set clock, have you been putting any practice in with that?
I haven't. I've watched a couple of your shows, and I think it's a format that's going to suit me.
Yeah, well, it makes it a bit more of a coin flip. I'm used to playing longer races, 21s, 25s, and it takes a bit of the luck element out of it, but like you say, it'd be fun and hopefully get the result as well.
4K's a lot of money to be playing for. You do play for bigger pots, but with such a short race, does the 4K add any extra pressure? Does the size of the pot matter?
You try not to think of it when you come into a money match. You just play the balls as they are and just take it as it comes.
Not really thinking about the pot, to be honest. It's more about making a good performance on TV and not making yourself look silly, really.
And get your thoughts on your opponent tonight?
I don't really know a great deal about him. I've just gone on word of mouth, whether it was a good game or not, and went off that.
Wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
I don't really know an awful lot about him. I see he had a money game the other day and it didn't go too well for him. I didn't really watch the match, but I don't know a lot about him. I've gone off the word of a couple of others saying it should be quite close, so we'll see.
Wish you the best of luck.
Thank you, cheers.
Well, there we have it. Both players feeling confident. Welcome to the commentary box here. Stephen Jameson and Simon Webb with you all evening long for two fantastic games. We've got these two up first. We've got a belter for our second match as well. £4,000 on the line for these two, Simon. We're excited about this one, aren't we?
Yeah, absolutely. This the prize pot's been ramped up for this first match, and it's going to be ramped up even more for the second match. This is bigger than anything we've seen so far. And the reason that's, although in pool money match terms, £4,000 isn't that eye-catching, but normally they're playing, as you heard in interviews, they're playing longer races to 21, races to 25. These matches can take 4, 5, sometimes even 6 hours, which aren't going to be put on TV. But in this format, it's very short, it's very sharp, and it's a lot of money to put on such a short match where there can be the bit of run, there can be a bit of luck. So both players have certainly, they're backing themselves, aren't they, with a decent amount of money.
It's been a great format to introduce, I think, on Free Sports over the last sort of 6 to 8 weeks, and we've got later that we've already seen, which is exciting, but these two making TV debuts, which, I mean, I know you've gone through that process as well. No small feat, that.
Yeah, absolutely, and we've seen a lot of that over the last few weeks. A lot of players making their first or making their debut on TV, and I know when I went through that, it was probably the half an hour before we went live was probably the most nervous I've been before a match. But the minute my first shot was taken, I just relaxed into the match and I was able to really just flow and play my normal game. That isn't the case for every player. Every player deals with it differently. Some players, if they don't play the first frame particularly well, they'll take longer to settle, and if they don't settle down in this format, we've seen it can just snowball and snowball and snowball, and then they're really up against it.
You mentioned the format there. For those viewers watching who've not watched any Super Series or Shootout Showdowns so far on Free Sports in the last few months, it's a great format which just enforces drama, isn't it? This is going to be entertaining.
Yeah, there's no doubt. We've seen it in every match we've had so far. The shootout rules, so we're playing blackball rules, but with a few shootout elements in it. Having the shot clock down at 15 seconds in this format is incredibly tough, and then having the set clock as well, which just, whenever you've got a timed match, there is going to be some drama at the end of it because there is always a twist.
Yeah, there certainly is. We'll run you through the rules here. We are playing black ball rules. Ball must hit a cushion after contact. A foul introduces not 2 shots or 2 shots carry. All those rules you know from Daniel Urkel, throw them out the window. A foul introduces 1 free shot, with which you can do whatever you like, and then a regular visit continues. Skill shots are permitted, which means you can pot any other ball as long as you pot your own. So you can pot a yellow and a red, absolutely no problem at all. Shootout rules. Golden break means if you pot the black off the break, you win the frame. You pot the black and the white, you will lose it. We're going to play 2 sets on a 30-minute shot clock, and this is where it gets interesting because it's a race to 5 or a race to 0 on the clock, whichever one comes first. Sets can be tied. If we're level after 2, we'll relag and have a tie break frame. It really does enforce some drama. We've seen some brilliant drama already in these shootout showdowns, and that's even factoring out the fact that we're playing for an awful lot of money. Our first match, Jordan Sillett versus Ben Clayton, is not too far away, and we're very excited to bring it to you, and we'll be bringing it to you after the break. Welcome back to Free Sports. We've got Shootout Showdown Pool for you here tonight, this Monday evening. Tim Jameson and Simon Webb with you all evening long, where we start with a fantastic match between Jordan Sillett and Ben Clayton. That match is for £4,000. We've already heard from our 2 gentlemen earlier on in the show, but following that is a real blockbuster, and we're going to talk about this in just a moment. Zak Shepherd against Martin Mcintosh. £5,000 on the line in a 2-set format. Absolutely crazy money from 2 players who have provided us with great entertainment on Free Sports over the last couple of months. And Simon, we'll talk a little bit about this now. We're really excited about this game for a number of reasons. But this is a game that was advertised prior. We had a call out. It was almost boxing style, old school. You know, after the match was won, a call out was put in. I want you next, and well, here we are.
Yeah, absolutely, and both players played also in the shootout series, which we had coming straight out of lockdown. Then they both played in the shootout showdown, both winning their matches. Martin won first, and then a couple of weeks later Zak won. When Zak won, he called out Martin and said, "Martin, I want a game on here on Free Sports," and the organisers have got involved, and here we are, £5,000 on the line. It's a game with a little bit of spice when that happens. Both players have been trying to get this match on for a little bit of time, and for whatever reason it's never really happened, and here we are on Free Sports, and we're going to see what happens, and I can't wait for this one.
It is a weird thing to do that, because it's the norm obviously in sports, like combat sports and stuff like that. It happens all the time, but not really the done thing in pool. And I think, speaking for myself, I'm all for it. I love the idea that Zak's had this in his mind. He wants his opponent, he's called him out, and this is some serious money on the line for not a lot of pool to play.
Yeah, it is. Both players are used to playing for a bit more money, actually. Martin in particular, he plays a lot of money matches, and he plays a lot of very big money matches. The reason it feels like a lot of money is because it's such a short race. Normally they're playing races to 21, 25, sometimes even 30, which we heard at Jordan interview earlier talk about the fact that that takes some of the luck element out of it. You feel like the better player, whoever plays the best on the night, is going to win. In this format, 2 very short sets of pool, you could have a couple of bad breaks that could be the difference between winning and losing £5,000, which is, I mean, and they're not just playing for 5,000 either. They're both putting up £2,500. That's what makes it so risky or so difficult for the players.
And we're not just talking about £5,000 here, or the pride of losing on TV. There's a bit more on this. Zak has called Martin out here. There's something in this.
Yeah, absolutely. I think actually it will be fascinating to see how Zak starts the match, because he's the one that's done the chasing here. He's the one that's called him out on live TV and said, "I want this game." If he doesn't start this match well and it starts to slide against him, he might feel more pressure on him because he's called it out. So that's going to be a fascinating little element in the match to see how it goes. And I had a little chat with both players beforehand, and they both seem really relaxed. But Martin in particular seemed, this is just he gave me the impression that it's just another money match for him. I'm not sure whether it is, but it certainly gave me that impression.
Well, let's hear that chat now. But both players spoke to Simon earlier.
Great to have you back here at the Shootout Showdown. Last time we saw you here on Free Sports, you called Martin out for this game. I want to get your thoughts behind that? What was your motivation for doing so?
I think for years we played Wales against Scotland team matches, and I think it's a good game, but I've always thought his favourite and he's always ducked me, so I thought let's get it on, and I called him out and he had to take it because otherwise it'd be a bit of a bottle job, wouldn't he? So I had to take it out.
Martin, great to have you here at the Shootout Showdown. Last time we saw Zak on Free Sports, he called you out for this game. Were you watching, and what was your immediate thoughts? Was it a tough decision to take it?
I was watching, I just thought, you silly man. Absolute silly man. I thought he was drunk.
What is it specifically about Martin that you feel like you've got an edge over him in his format?
I think the bit that got me was we were playing a team match in Malta and he's missed a ball that bad he's nearly trebled it, so I thought if he's missing balls like that, then I got to take games like that, if you know what I mean.
Obviously you two know each other really well. What do you think gives you the edge in this game? What made you take the game?
I'm not going to back down. We're getting called out. Zak's wanted to beat me for a long time, so I just thought now's the time. I love this format, so we'll play it here.
5k is the biggest pot we've seen so far. There's a lot of money to be playing for, even though you played the bigger pots, but in this short format, is that going to add pressure to the occasion?
Yeah, it's brutal, this format, it's too short. We shouldn't be playing for this much really, this short format. He tried out pricing me, I took the game, and then earlier in the week he's tried saying he hasn't got enough, so he must be struggling. So we shouldn't be playing for this much, but it's going to be a good game, I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, because it's quite a little pot to what we normally play. If anything, it's just like obviously the TV and stuff gets there, does it? So that's the added pressure there, and but looking forward to it.
Do you give Martin much of a chance tonight?
At this format he can beat me. If we're playing a long race at World Rules he can't win. Blackball he's got a slight chance, but this format, yeah, he can win, yeah, but I'm still a big favourite.
Wish you the best of luck tonight.
Thanks, Ed.
There's a lot of spice in this match. Do you give Zak a chance?
Nah, he's losing.
Cheers, Martin.
Cheers.
Well, we love to hear this needle between the players. It's all very friendly, of course, we should stress that, but there is definitely a bit more of an edge to it than there would be usually.
Yeah, there's needle. There's respect there as well. There's not they do get on. You know, they've been chatting before the match, but there is definitely some needle. There's definitely some spice, and I love those interviews. Probably the two favourite interviews I've seen so far, all the way through all the shows we've had over the last couple of months. So great to see them in good spirits. Can't wait to see how they go on the table.
Now, I know you weren't a massive proponent of the money match, Simon. Far too honest a competitor, I know. But you'll have played matches where there's a little bit more than just pure sporting competition on the line. Is it quite hard to focus in on that and zero in on your own game?
It is. I've played a couple. I played 5, and I think once the match starts, you're only really focusing on the match. You're only trying to win. I think if you put too much on it, if you worry about who you're playing, or you give it too much in your own mind, you're putting yourself under more pressure. So you want to. I think you want to treat it as any other game. As soon as the match starts, you're just playing pool. You're playing the balls. You know, what's the right situation? What's the right shot for this situation? Put everything else out of your mind. Of course, it's easy to say that. It's very difficult to do.
It absolutely is, and don't worry, our Paul will be with us very shortly. But before we get to that, Simon, I just wanted to talk a little bit about the transfer between the two games. Zak, of course, mentioning it there. In this format, Martin's got a chance. In Black Ball, he's got a bit of a chance. In World Rules, he's getting cleaned up. It's quite an interesting way of putting it, but Zak, of course, coming over from the World Rules side of the game, and there's a lot of talk in the pool community at the minute about transferring between different codes, and it just goes to show that Zak can do all three and really make it work.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, Martin, he's been playing quite a bit of international pool for Scotland in the other code of the game, and I think one of the greatest things we've seen in the sport over the last 12 months, 18 months or so was when the governing body of the other code of the game, they relaxed the rules to allow anyone to play anywhere they wanted. Before that, you know, they had bans in place. If they played certain tournaments at certain rules, they weren't allowed to continue playing. They'd lose their rights to play in that event. And I think the reason I feel like it's relevant is that Zak was one of the big voices. He's quite high up in he's very much in the setup in terms of the governing body, but also I think he's the chairman. Forgive me if I've got that wrong, Zak, but I think he's the chairman of the Welsh governing body, and he was a big voice in trying to get that rule relaxed. And I think 18 months or so ago that happened, and I think it's great to see when governing bodies relax rules to allow players to play pool anywhere, because no one wants to see banning, no one wants to see players not being allowed to play in events, and it should just be open. All pool players want really is to play anywhere they want in any competition they want. They want as many opportunities as possible.
It comes down to the simple, doesn't it? All pool players want is to play pool.
Absolutely, and it's been great to see that development over the last 18 months.
Yeah, and the difference between the formats is interesting because we've seen in these events, the shootouts, they've attracted a lot of different players from all different codes. And what's beautiful about that is it is something different when you introduce the shootout. It's nothing like World Rules. It's not really like any blackball events that we see anywhere. It is so unique. And when you throw different players into the mix from different formats, different codes, some who are purely used to playing on the money match scene, you get such a beautiful melting pot of talent, and that really does contribute something to these events.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that the organisers have done so well, is that they've put most of these events have been invitation events. They do have some qualifying elements to them, but they've extended invites to a lot of players from a lot of different places, and it's really great to see players that we might not necessarily see here on Free Sports. You know, players that have been playing on the IPA. We've seen players outside of that, and that's something the organisers, OMG, have done so well, and it's been really good to see.
And we've seen it most notably with World Rules players when that rule was relaxed, coming over to IPA events. I remember the buzz around the scene when the likes of Tom Cousins, Sean Chipperfield came over, and it just introduced that extra element of competition. It makes things interesting. It adds intrigue, it adds excitement. Ultimately, it adds to the player pool and the talent pool. You get better players, get better matches.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a pool fan first. I'm a broadcaster. I want to work on shows that have the best players in the world. I want all of them in one building playing against each other. Winner comes out on top. That would be fascinating to watch. That's what we see in other sports. It's great to see. I'm a big fan of so many different sports, and what I love watching more than anything else is the best players in the world competing hard against each other.
Yeah, absolutely. We're almost ready to go for our first match, and a reminder of our first match, Simon. It should be an absolute belter between two really, really good players as well, and we're excited to watch these guys go.
Yeah, really looking forward to seeing both players play. I've not seen a huge amount of Ben playing. I've seen a little bit more of Jordan because I've just happened to see some of his matches on the IPA tour, although I never actually played against him myself. I think Jordan probably comes in, because of some of the players he plays with, he probably comes in underrated, I should say. He probably doesn't quite believe how good a player he is himself, but all the players that see him play regularly, and specifically in the Essex area, know how good a player he is. And when he plays really well, he's really entertaining to watch, and he is capable of beating any player in the world, really.
In that Essex scene, as you mentioned, pretty good players down there, like Jimmy Carney, Rob Donkin.
Yeah, it's a very talented pool area, and I've got some good friends from that part of the world as well. And I think it's been great to see some of those players and how they've gone on the IPA tour over the last couple of years. And it's great to see Jordan out there getting his first taste of live TV pool.
Yeah, really best of luck to these two guys, and I wish them all the very best. First match on live TV. It's 2 sets and it's worth 4,000 quid. No pressure.
Yeah, no pressure at all. Both these. So this is the highest pot we've seen in this event so far. Unfortunately, they're not going to hold the record for very long because our second match is for £5,000, but at least they're going to hold the record briefly. But it is a lot of money to be playing for in such a short format, as we have mentioned a few times. It really is. And as much as the players have said, the size of the pot doesn't really make much difference. It's got to play in the mind a little bit, isn't it? At the back end, when one of them might be faced with a really difficult pot for all the money. That's I mean, if you're playing for a few quid down your local, that's one thing. If you're playing for £4,000 on live TV, that's a whole nother deal.
Oh, it's a whole different ball game. Our referee Viv Rusco racks the balls and gets us ready to go. First break of the match, and first thing we noticed there is a lot of motion on that black ball, nearly a golden break up towards the top left of the table. But other than that, very quick scan shows it has come up dry, so turnover straight away after the break. And an opening chance.
Yeah, first look at Jordan Sillett in this match. We've seen it all the way through the Shootout Showdown, possibly a little bit more so than the Shootout series we had just after lockdown, in that the players have struggled to settle, and if they don't settle quickly, then it's just going to get harder and harder and it will snowball. So I feel like the first chance or two for both of these players is really important. If Jordan can find a finish, and this is far from easy, he hasn't landed on the next ball, so probably won't from here, but if a player can find a nice finish, get themselves 1-0 in front, it really could go a long way to getting themselves in front in this set.
Yeah, just wants to play safe here, does Jordan, and I'm sure he'll be overly delighted about that. And obviously as a first ball, can he make this into a chance? He's got 3 congested reds in the middle of the table. That might change now. He landed on his next ball. Not quite, I don't think. Don't think that red's moved across far enough to see the potting angle. This overhead camera can be very deceptive though.
Very deceptive. I wonder whether he could snick the one he's nearest to into the centre pocket. Possibly just about. This is thin. Oh, lovely.
Break on.
Pleased with the control as well. He's landed really nicely. So all the reds are actually in the open. Every red's got a pocket. Good chance.
It's the sort of chance that you want as well. If you're Ben Clayton, first frame, you've had a drive rate, you're back at the table. It's not a gimme of a clearance by any stretch of the imagination, but it's also a very gettable one.
It really is, and it's one that it's not an absolutely routine finish, so if he gets this, it should really settle him down because he knows he's played a good frame to take this out. A couple of keys for him here. He needs to take the one nearest the top left-hand corner before the one that's just below it, because the plant is really difficult and potentially isn't going to work out well with where the first ball goes. So needs the white to pull up.
White ball. Oh. And I think he can get through to the one across the table as well. I don't think those yellows are blocking it. That is a remarkable shot.
Yeah, he's a little fortunate that the white stayed on the table, but that's where the fortune ends. He's come around to have a really good look at the one in the bottom half of the table. If it doesn't go to the bottom left, he's actually in a spot of bother here. He's played as though it does go to the bottom left, but landing on the cushion means it's not going to be easy to get on the ball up the rail, so could play a double first. Looks like he wants the one to the bottom corner. This must be very tight. He's had a lot of very close looks at this.
Didn't have the full pocket and couldn't pinch it in either. The table handed over to Jordan, who's got a real chance, because there's one thing, having a decent look at a clearance with all the balls on the table is even better when your opponent has cleared the road away.
That had the look of a player that wanted a ball to go more than it really went. That must have been the very smallest part of that pocket that he took on there.
But had no other option. I mean, it was one of those where, yes, he hasn't gone in off from the slightly loose positional shot, but in reality it didn't help him a ginormous amount.
No, if it stops 2 rolls, because he was playing for the one on the top, on the left-hand rail, if it stops 2 rolls short, he probably still makes the finish. You'd never think this way as a player, but actually in a strange way, if Jordan does take these out, it's better than almost clearing up with his first visit, because his opponent's had an opportunity and not made the clearance, and there's a bit of negative for him and then a lot of positive for yourself, although that's a loose one from Jordan because he was playing for the yellow in the middle of the table. Certainly did not want to be playing this one to come back down the table, to go back up the table.
Yeah, this is now going to just require a little bit of cue ball control, far more than he would have needed if he'd gone gradually up the table. Just has to manage this white. How's his pacing of this table so far? Pretty good.
He'd take that, yeah, that's a beautiful shot. Lovely control.
Jordan Sillett takes the game's first frame. See that shot clock ticking, or the match clock rather, just under 25 minutes left. This is Ben Clayton, Blitz they call him, 40 years of age, from Rotherham. Their report there is Daz Cheatham, I believe he's from a similar neck of the woods. Rotherham United fan as well. He's a British 9-ball champion with the Great Britain squad. That's what I mentioned earlier about the players being able to play from multiple codes and formats.
Players want to do that. Players want to play multiple versions of the game. We've seen players play, snooker, 9-ball, Chinese 8-ball. It's been great to see, playing blackball, shootout, playing world rules. It's been
a bit of diamond.
Absolutely, a bit of Eastern European diamond pool. That's
so many formats of the game.
It is.
It really is the world's game in a way. Every country does it slightly different, has different traditions, but everyone knows the game.
Yeah, and I don't know what the statistic is, and I've heard this sort of second, third hand, but I've been told that pool in all its forms is widely regarded as, I think, the 4th most popular sport in the world. It is played in so many different varieties across the world. Pool's actually huge in Africa. They play lots of pool in Africa, and just all over the world. And this is just the version that we play.
Shot clock was ticking tight there on Jordan Sillett, but he played it just in time. A reminder for those not too au fait with the shot clock, as long as he plays the cue ball before 0, he's absolutely fine. Ball doesn't have to be potted or anything like that. Shot clock starts at 30 seconds, and at 15 minutes of this set, it will drop down to 15. It is rapid at that point. Jordan making light work of these reds so far. He's got a little bit of figuring out here to do, though.
That was a lovely little flick on that red. It looked like it was going to be slightly awkward. He could take the one to the bottom right corner now if he wanted to, but that flick has just made this next shot going up the table a little bit easier for him as well. Although that is a loose one. I'm slightly surprised he didn't take the red to the bottom right corner first, because it would have given him more margin of error for the last 3 shots. Although I can see why he wanted to go this way.
Tough little pot this. He's played it really nicely.
Really allowed the pocket to take that one, played that a really nice pocket weight. Give it every opportunity.
Beautifully played by Jordan Sillett, and it's 2-zip to the banger from Basildon.
2019 Golden 8-Ball singles champion is a great title to win, and Golden 8-Ball is one of the big events of the year. Lots of players from lots of pool teams across the country, a lot more wide variety of abilities in the event, but that's a huge title to win in terms of the amount of people that enter that event. To win it, you have to be a serious player, and great achievement to win that for Jordan.
Yeah, he too 30 years of age, and as mentioned, Essex boy, so naturally a Man United fan.
That said with a little bit of tongue-in-cheek as a Liverpool fan, I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where's the black? Not this time. And not the split he wanted either. Having had a good chance in the opening frame and then being dished in the second frame, he wanted an opportunity here just to get himself going, get on the board, and he's made a ball, but he's just been left nothing.
Yeah, this is horrible. Wonder if he's got a little plant down the rail here, yellow onto red. Is that all he can take? And it doesn't go, it was tough. And he hands the table over already. This is looking like a tough set to win for Ben Clayton. And the longer it takes you to get your first frame, the harder and harder it then becomes to settle into the match, and errors tend to be exacerbated.
It is a very difficult environment to play pool, and if you don't settle down, it just gets harder and harder and harder. We've seen that with so many players of so many different levels. We've seen some of the greats of the game playing
absolutely
in this setup over the past 3 months, and when you're seeing someone like Mark Farnsworth turn up and struggle to settle, it's tough out there.
Yeah, it really does happen to the best of them.
Well, Jordan's one good positional shot and one good pot down the rail away from a 3-0 lead. Just has to avoid the yellow on the left-hand side. He's done that. That's nicely done. And he's avoided it in terms of the white being behind it, but also the white being in front of it, which would have made the shot very difficult. He couldn't really have hoped to put the white any better than he has.
I was just thinking that if he'd wanted to pick it up with his hand and place it, that's probably where he'd have put it. But it doesn't go. Now then, Ben Clayton, this is a big chance.
It's tough though. Look at the yellows near that bottom left-hand corner. It's not nice. It's not that easy to get a good snooker from where he is. He may pot the one in the middle first and then look to get a better snooker. He may take the risk, leave the one in the middle of the table and try and get the white to the right-hand side. But you think wherever he puts it, Jordan's going to have some sort of shot.
And that's the danger, because even if this is a snooker, which referee Viv is about to check.
I quite like his choice there, actually. If he gets the white tight to that top cushion, then he's really making it difficult for Jordan. That being an inch off gives Jordan some hope. I wonder whether he possibly even swerving it. It's difficult. There's two yellows near the bottom left-hand corner, make this difficult to find a 2 or even 1 or 2, maybe even a 3 cushion escape on. So I wonder whether just the swerve in the middle of the table. It is a tough swerve because the swerve has to happen late in the shot.
Jordan takes his extension, and it's not surprising to see it's a big call, this one, because he's thinking, if I hit it, where's that white ball going? He wants to be able to see the black, and it's not necessarily easy. What has he got up his sleeve here?
Draws. Yeah, they're always a long shot, those.
Are you surprised to see that shot choice?
Yeah, I mean, the swerve was really difficult, like really, really difficult, because, like, as I said, the swerve has to happen late in the shot. But I couldn't see a 2 or 3 cushion escape, and you can actually play the shot off the jaws and get it to hug the rail down the table. It's a little bit easier to play it into the corner to try to get it to go across the table to the right or left, rather than up or down the table. So it is a shot that can be played from time to time. I actually managed to play one of those. Not that I ever really want to big up my own game, but I managed to play one of those in a.
This is very rare.
It is very rare in a tour event, and I absolutely played it the way it came out. And the only reason I mention it is a shot that will go through a player's mind. It always looks like a hit and hope, but there is some control to the shot.
It's a lovely shot to open up those 2 yellows. It's really nicely worked, actually, by Ben. And this now should be simple. He's going to give every shot full attention here. He knows how important this frame is. The difference between 2-1 and 3-0 at this stage is gigantic. Not just in terms of scoreboard pressure and the result and everything like that, but just his mentality.
Perfect all the way, isn't he? Really worked these out nicely. We always say that if your opponent misses last ball, then you should win the frame, but he's made this look very simple.
Yeah, well played, Ben Clayton. Gets on the board, 2-1. He needed that. Quick reminder of our rules. If you're just joining us here on Free Sports this evening, you are watching Shootout Showdown Pool. Ben Clayton and Jordan Sillett. 2 sets for £4,000. Ball must hit the cushion after contact. Foul introduces a shot and a visit. Skill shots are allowed, so you can pot the yellow and a red. Put the black off the break, you win the frame. Put the black and the white, you will lose it. We'll play 2 sets of half an hour. 30-second shot clock for the first 15 minutes, and from now, as you hear that that noise rather, it's a 15-second shot clock from this point onwards. Sets can be tied.
It's a very tough format, it really is, but I think it's one of the rules we don't talk about too much is the fact we're not playing a best of 3 sets, we're playing a 2-set match, and if it goes 1 set all, we are playing.
Well, welcome back everyone. Sorry about that. Had some technical difficulties here in the West Midlands, but we are back. You haven't missed much, we can tell you that. You missed the back end of the last frame. We can tell you that Jordan finished off his break dish clearance. He now leads by 3 frames to 1. The clock's been paused. Play now continues. We are as you were, almost. Just missed the end of that clearance, but a great breaking dish from Jordan Simon. We were able to watch it on our monitor here. He's playing some really good stuff now.
Yeah, and what I like about it is the fact that he made a bad mistake in the previous. Well, I wouldn't say bad mistake. He missed a ball down the rail to go 3-0 in front. He didn't win the frame because of it, but he just responded, took his next opportunity. Which in this form of the game, you are going to make mistakes. You cannot avoid it. It is just going to happen, and all you can do is forget about it, move on, take your next chance. And I think it's great to see when a player does that.
Got into that pack in the black spots area. I'm not sure that's come out too nicely for him. He's not got a lot of time to figure this out either. He's gone. Oh my goodness, that was nearly an unbelievable shot. I thought he was lining that up, and I thought, no, I must be doing this wrong. But it really was about the only thing he could play. Amazing creativity, and that has nearly come off a blinder.
I thought he was just going to flick off those and play safe. I thought he'd worked out that he didn't have a pot on, but no, he had a bit more creativity than I thought he had in that case. But it's a chance gone, although it was a difficult chance. He had to split the balls open. But with time on the clock, very important visit in this first set. Red on the left-hand side is a problem. Red at the top of the table is a problem, although not as big a problem as the one on the left-hand side rail at the bottom of the table.
15 seconds does not seem like a long time at all when the table's set like this and players have got problems.
He wanted to leave himself the angle to develop the red on the left. Has he got it? Yes, he has. Lovely shot. If he's on this red at the bottom of the table, and I think he is, that is worked out beautifully.
Yeah, that's where the overhead camera can be deceptive, because that absolutely didn't go according to the overhead, but you can see it clearly passed, and here we go. It's got a nice little angle here. Just drift across to this left side rail. This is a test of potting, much as it was for Jordan a couple of frames ago. Frame hinges on this.
It helps if he can just drift by the yellow, makes the shot easier. He could just drift by the yellow. Lovely shot. What a visit to the table this is from Ben Clayton. Just the black to finish it off.
Gorgeous. Really, really good that from Ben Clayton. Keeps himself very much alive in this set. 3-2, one behind. And an absolutely brilliant clearance. Some really, really high level stuff there.
Tells us a lot about Ben Clayton, that clearance. That he's been kept off the table on the previous two breaks from Jordan. He's not done a huge amount wrong in going 3-1 behind, but that visit was the best finish so far in the match, and it required a lot of, well, 2 or 3 very good shots, especially at the end there, that one down the rail. So excellent from Ben Clayton. And well, at the beginning of this match I talked about the players needing to settle. I think it's fair to say both players have settled into this nicely now.
Jordan with the break here in the 6th frame. Clock stopped at 10:33. So plenty of time left in this one with a 15-second shot clock. And the difference between 20 and 5 might not seem much as Jordan breaks dry there. Chance here for Ben to square this up. This table is very open. But just quickly tell me, the difference between 20 seconds and 15 seconds might not seem a lot. In fact, it's 5 seconds. That passes in absolutely no time at all. But in reality, the difference on this table is absolutely massive. And not only that, but in this situation here with 10 minutes left, you're sort of looking, last week when we were playing the 4-1 format, it's a 20-second shot clock throughout. 3 balls a minute, but now it's 4, and that's a lot to factor in. There's still a lot of life left in this match here.
Yeah, I think so. That we've seen it with when we started seeing the shot clock introduced on free sports. We saw a minute come in at the First World Championships, then we had 45 seconds, which felt super quick at the time, especially as a player. And all of a sudden 30 seconds came in, and now 30 seconds feels incredibly slow. But I absolutely agree with you that the difference between 15 seconds and 20 seconds, that extra 5 seconds to just consider what you're doing and work things out is huge. Especially as you're not just figuring a shot out and then playing it, you're figuring a finish out, and you might use that 5 seconds, each time to give yourself more chance of working out as you go through.
Oh, Ben. He knew straight away as soon as he hit this
I think he was really worried about finishing the wrong side of the yellows. He was trying to hit, I think, the yellow, top of those two yellows full in the face. If he drifts by him, he's not on the black. And I think that's got in his mind, and he's forgotten about the pot, because he's actually missed the pot by quite a long way.
If this is a snooker, it's a really clever little shot from Jordan. He wanted just to hide behind those yellows, but of course must hit the cushion after contact. He used a jaw to check it back.
Oh, he left it.
And you can see he didn't quite cover that. Oh, but Ben has landed absolutely horrible on this final ball. Just commits to it. No questions asked. No hesitation. Can he pot it? Yes, he can. And we're level, 3 apiece.
That's a mistake from Jordan Sillett. That could be a big moment in this match, and certainly in this set, because once Ben Clayton missed that last ball, Jordan should win that frame. There's no question. He should have found the snooker. Even if Ben gets out of it, he should then clear up next visit. The fact he didn't get the snooker, which was a fairly routine shot, he just had to make sure he hit, he didn't overhit it, and which he did. But take nothing away from Ben. That was a fantastic cut down the rail. That was incredibly thin.
Absolutely amazing. What a shot this was, though, from Ben Clayton. Look at this.
Looks like he plays it with a trace of the right-hand side as well, just to make sure the white stays in the bottom half of the table rather than going up, because he was probably worried about finishing behind those two yellows again. So didn't just make the pot, he made the pot with control.
Frame number 7, Ben Clayton to break. 3 frames all. Time running.
3 apiece, with a little over 8 minutes to go. And that's going to come up dry as well. And look at this table. What a lead for Jordan Sillett. What a chance to respond after his mistake in the last frame.
So far in this match, the break is not happening for Ben. Seven minutes 41 on the clock, so plenty of time. That was a miss. That wasn't expecting that. Just looking further ahead in the visit, and did not expect that miss. Ben.
Just feels like there's been a bit of a momentum swing in this match here, Simon.
Yeah, and I was just about to say that Ben's only got 1 ball to worry about, and he does not have to worry about it now, because he's developed it with his first shot, developed it so well it actually went into the centre pocket. So now all the yellows go, and this is a great opportunity to get yourself in front.
Since he got himself on the board, I think he's 100% played the better pool. Been really impressed with Ben Clayton. His positional play in particular has been excellent.
Wanted to be on the yellow at the top of the table. That's not ideal. If he has to play this straight without using a cushion, he has to inject just a little bit of pace in it, and you don't want to be doing that in the centre pockets. Almost sort of stabbed it in. Just about gone far enough to still be able to pot this ball, but the white is running a little bit loose here. He tried to play it slow enough with control, but caught it too thick. If he makes the potting angle, the white reaches almost the bottom of the table.
What a chance now for Jordan.
As he plays that with a lot of left-hand side, trying to kill the white off 2 cushions. Sometimes you just have to accept you finished thin and you have to go in and out the bottom end of the table. Just needed to have a look at the black. He could have potted the black from the bottom half of the table.
This was such a big frame to win as well for either player.
That's slightly loose from Jordan. If he screws it back an inch or so to the left-hand side, then it's as simple as it gets. Now he has to just raise the butt of the cue. Yeah, he had so much margin of error, it was so hard to get it wrong, but it was just a little bit of stress he didn't really want.
Black was easy as you like in the end, and the big frame to win is won by Jordan Sillett. 4-3, he's one away from the opening set. This was the big moment for you again. Ben Clayton won't want to watch that back. Would there have been an option there, Simon? He'd have obviously accepted that he had to go down the bottom of the table with the poor position, but is he potentially considering playing at a bit of extra pace to get that back up the table as well?
I think if he could play that visit again in hindsight rather than that last shot, he may consider going up for that ball earlier in the visit, maybe going up, he had a chance to go up for it with 4 balls left on the table. It was the hardest ball on the table, and if you get it out of the way, then the finish becomes easier because of it. He decided to leave it, well, for his penultimate ball, didn't land on it, and then he had to try and get on it again and didn't quite land nicely, so possibly more about the route rather than the missed pot.
Zak Shepherd versus Martin Mcintosh is coming up after this match. Second game of the night. 4,000, our biggest individual pot so far. This one is for 5,000 griffins. Whoa-wee.
It's a lot of money and a lot of spice on that match. Really looking forward to it.
Leading 4 frames to 3. Time running.
Jordan's break's been going well tonight, but that is now too dry on the trot after starting with a couple of break dishes. Further into this visit he goes before he deals with the yellow at the bottom of the table, the harder it's going to get. Very much potting himself into trouble in this visit, and that may well be end of visit.
It's a bad visit to end on. Can he swerve this around the red and find the potting angle? No, he cannot. Is he going to get a slice of luck? Not really.
Those are the sorts of visits, I think, that the 15 seconds of shot really starts to play on your mind, because he knew one shot into that visit that he was odds against making it. That yellow at the bottom is so difficult to develop that but he didn't have time to work out how he was going to develop it, or whether he had the time or had the ability or the choice of playing a tactical shot. So that's probably one where he thought, I'm just going to keep chasing this because I haven't got time to work anything else out.
I'll tell you what, by the way, what an open shot from Jordan Sillett to play that awkward ball to the top of the table and get that red out the side cushion. Great opening shot. Nice frame. Decidedly easier. Wanted to play into that red. He will have other opportunities, but they are starting to run out.
He'd have taken a cannon into the red or the yellow at that occasion, and he's gone just between the two. He probably can't believe he's missed both.
Well, this is getting more difficult.
I don't know whether he's got the perfect angle just to drop this in and he'll be on the red on the right hand side or not. He tried to punch it in. Oh, that's a nice little nudge.
Oh, that's a shot, that is.
Nice. The black isn't easy to land on either here, but he's got a chance. He could probably play into the black or the yellow. It would take quite a bit of right hand side to do so. Oh, he's decided just to drop it in, and he thought he had enough room to cut the ball in, but the white's gone too far across the table.
Oh, look at him, he is absolutely fuming with himself. What's his options here? Long double.
It's not bad, you know.
Long double. Anyone? Long double? Wow. How about it? Oh, Jordan Sillett! What a way to win a set. Absolutely amazing.
That is incredible. What a shot that is to win the set. That's absolutely brilliant. He potted himself into trouble. He's staring at it thinking, what am I going to do here? Calmly, he didn't fly it around the table with pace. Calmly dropped it into the top pocket. This is absolutely brilliant. You have to say, looking at it on replay, he knew he was going to be very close to going in off into that corner pocket. That is great control on both sides of that shot. Absolutely brilliant. Deserved to win any setup ball.
Absolutely amazing for Jordan Sillett. And a really important point to note there as well is he had a little bit of an issue there in making it happen. He had a couple of really difficult moments where he missed some shots, and it almost felt like the match was getting away from him. The momentum was going more towards Ben, but he arrested that absolutely beautifully.
He had the opportunity to get further ahead in the set and allowed Ben to get back into that. Once Ben got back into the set, you thought he was going to go. He had the momentum. You felt he was going to win the set, but it only took one mistake, and Jordan was there ready to pounce if he got that chance. He got it and he took it, and I have to say that was a really enjoyable set of ball.
It really, really was. Oh, what an amazing moment that was. One of the best ways to win a set I can think that I've seen on this table in the last few months. Absolutely amazing. These are the stats so far. It's pretty even, as you might expect. Ben will really want to arrest that dry break statistic. That's really costing him at the moment, you feel. It's Jordan's break to kick us off for set number 2. Oh, he was going in off until the last moment. He's got away with that. He has got away with that. Have a watch. White straight in. Saved.
That is very fortunate. Things just running his way the last 5 minutes or so. You have to make the most of it when you get that sort of rub. You need to take advantage. Don't feel too guilty. Just take the opportunity that's been put in front of you. Not an easy clearance. Black slightly tricky. All the work is in the same area of the table. May go to the bottom right-hand corner of the table before he deals with the left-hand side, just because the pattern's slightly simpler doing it that way. It's hard to get from the one below the black onto one of the ones on the right-hand side, so that's why he didn't take the easy one over the left-hand side pocket to land on the trickiest one, which is the one on the left-hand side rail.
And of course, we're back to the 30-second shot clock. A little bit more time. I say a little bit, feels like an eon compared to 15 seconds. The difference really is amazing. But that might not have helped Jordan on this occasion. I think he's run a fraction, and I mean a fraction too far.
Yeah, I think he has, just that half a roll too far. If he's not on this yellow at the bottom, which body language would suggest he isn't, he doesn't have a ball to go for. So this might just be a little bump off this yellow, right on the bottom rail. Yeah, just a safety. He's still got 4 balls on the table, so if he could find a good safety, and he has, he isn't too far behind in the frame. Oh, what a lovely pot that is.
Oh, it's so nice, isn't it? It's such a glorious party.
It is.
Almost a shame that he's played it as a shot to nothing, because it really doesn't buy him much in the frame. It almost, if I'm going to be really pedantic, costs him a little bit, because the next shot here will be a safety, and he's got less real estate to play with.
Yeah, it was a bit speculative, wasn't it? He was just trying to play the white to the bottom cushion and float it somewhere up to the top pocket. The fact it goes in makes it tricky for him.
That wasn't an attempted pot to the middle pocket. He's just rested it on the jaws just to take that pocket, get a little bit of control back. But Jordan has the chance here to make a couple of pots. I think he wanted that white a little bit higher, but this does go. Oh, it does go. Now then.
He's left himself enough angle to get across the table.
Oh, this would be a really, really good counter clearance. And it's on.
Don't know whether he can land on the black, or whether he's having a look to see whether he can play the black straight, or maybe even play the black off the red. He could play into the red beside the black. That's what he's done. Needs the white to bounce. Right, he's got a chance, and he'd be happy just to have that.
He's got a shot. Here it comes. And that looks pretty good. Jordan Sillett has played some brilliant shots in clutch moments. He takes the lead in the second set. Reminder, he doesn't need to win this set to win the match. He'll take a tied set, even 1 set and a half point against a half point. He'll win the match. His money match record is good. 116, only lost the 6. The Basildon banger.
Bigger loss than he has a win, but the 16 wins to 6 losses counteracts that somewhat, and it is a very good money match record. If you're prepared to put yourself out there and play that number of money matches, you are going to lose some. That's just the nature of sport. So you want to win a lot more than you lose when you're putting hard cash on the line. That's for sure. Ben's break is still not happening. Cannot find some consistency of it. More dry breaks building up. So potting a red and a yellow just means that it's still an open table. He has the choice of colour sets here, but has to pot his next colour to be on it. If he doesn't make a ball on his next shot, it's still an open table for Ben Clayton as well.
Oh, and the miss on the yellow. Open table, but the pot is missed, which means it's still open table for Ben Clayton.
Yeah, break not working for him, but he still essentially gets, it's not technically the first chance, but it feels like a first visit chance. Comes to the table with an open table and a split. Yellow nearest the black. If that goes to the bottom left, then yellows are a good chance. If that yellow doesn't go past the black to the bottom left corner, then yellows are tough. The red in between the two yellows at the top of the table make reds really tough. So this isn't a simple finish by any stretch. We saw in a previous attempt to clear up that Ben left his hardest ball till last, although it wasn't necessarily a problem ball, it was just the trickiest ball on the table. Well, his trickiest ball on the table at the moment is that one by the black, and it doesn't look like he's going to get down to it anytime soon. So the longer you leave that sort of problem on the table, the harder the finish potentially becomes, because you really are only going to get one opportunity to land on it.
Yeah, the margin for error here is very, very slim. Punishment for failure is high. Tariff at the shot was high as well. And back comes the Basildon banger.
I don't want to second guess a player when they're out there. The pressure these guys are under, you don't have time to think and work things through. I think he would have been better served, you know, if yellows were probably the right choice, but take a yellow at the top of the table, then play the shot that he was attempting to play, which was to pop that down the rail and develop the other ball. Because if you miss, as you can see, he's tied up the bottom end of the table, but you've still got all the ones at the top of the table, so that you've got balls to play with and have a tactical advantage. Now he's going to have to come up with a good shot to win it at this visit, otherwise he's behind. Well, he's going to go for another safety first, but he is actually, even though he's got the one over the pocket, he's potentially behind in this safety battle. One good shot from Jordan will turn this around.
The way the balls are set, it does have to be a good shot. A poor shot from Jordan will still lose the frame. The way the balls are set at the moment, you can't afford to play a wrong one here. This needs to be bang on, and it isn't. And it isn't. That could be a costly error.
He really wanted to hide the white. He was desperate to hide the white, and he's gone that way. I thought he might go the other way and leave it the white in the centre of the table, because it was an easier shot to play more than anything else, and I felt like there was a little bit more margin of error. But you're absolutely right, there was, you know, it wasn't an easy shot to get that one right, and it's gone about as wrong as it possibly could.
A let off, but he's played well, almost earned it in a way. Ben Clayton squares things up. 1-1 in a set that he has to win to take us to a decider. Ben the Blitz.
Very similar money match record for Ben Clayton as there was for Jordan Sillett in terms of matches won and lost. Doesn't quite have the same big win, although there's only a few thousand in it, but certainly the loss is different. He's only had a 4K loss.
I love the cue making tip size as well. 8.2mm unbranded, which makes me think one of two things. He's made it himself or he's grabbed one off the wall at a local club.
There is a player out there, and a multiple world champion, Andy Lucas. He plays with a cue that he just pulled off the rack at the club, and he's won multiple world titles, so it can be done.
That's absolutely ridiculous.
And he had a cue as well. He had a cue at the time, but he pulled one off the rack. I don't know whether it's because his cue was getting retipped or he'd fallen out of love with it, but pulled one off the rack, played well with it, and been playing with it for a number of years now.
Whenever I pull a cue off the rack, I think I'd rather fashion a 2x4 and play with it. Andy Lucas is winning world champions.
Yeah, it's incredible, really. What a break that is.
Yeah, that's a bit more like it. I've seen a couple of fairly dodgy breaks in the last 4 or 5, but this one is much more like it. Really got into the... This is a great spread as well.
Yeah, just the 2 yellows. The yellows at the top of the table, they're fine. The 2 yellows at the bottom of the table, you just want to land on the one nearest the pocket first, which isn't easy to do. Oh, he's missed the first ball again. 2 frames on the trot. First chance and missed the first ball. Well, it's the problem that I was just describing is now the same problem for Ben. The yellows are the better colour set because the red to the top right-hand corner pocket is a real problem. But the 2 yellows on the on the right-hand side are awkward.
It's a lovely first shot just to hammer home the advantage by popping around the rail.
If the yellow that's just above the one on the rail goes, then this is a really good chance. If it doesn't, it looks tight. But if it doesn't go, then it's trickier. Well, maybe from the overhead we're looking at now, maybe it does just about go. I was taking the one on the cushion first anyway.
Jammed it in. You can see the one to the middle pocket, but this white ball is difficult to control. It's a thin cut.
Yeah, he would have loved an extra few inches up the table, wouldn't he? Give himself a choice, more control.
Control's great and all. You need to make that pot. It had come out all right positionally as well. Didn't catch it thin enough.
That little brush on the yellow just helped him, because that yellow, I think, is covering the bottom left-hand corner and that red. So without that little brush on the yellow, this would have been a pretty clean run to the line in this frame for Jordan Sillett. Now he's got to work something out. He may even play safe because of that. Here's the safety, but it's the safety that's gone wrong.
Oh, Jordan.
2 safety shots in 2 frames that have gone wrong. Both frames he's missed first ball and he's played a loose safety shot. Had the chances. Oh, I thought that was going to slide by and it would be a simple finish. Now he's snookered. Just about to say that Jordan's had the chances to win all 3 of these frames and hasn't taken them.
It's been interesting, hasn't it? In the first set, we both said, let's watch this first. That's going to hit the red. So Jordan here with a big, big chance. It's interesting, isn't it? We're nearly halfway through this set here. We've only seen 1 completed frame. It's almost as if the 2 players are just almost freezing up a little bit and starting to feel the pressure. Once they'd both got a frame on the board in the first set, it was pretty free-flowing, seeing some really good clearances. It was a high-scoring set, 5-3, and now it's just slowed, and it feels like, I can't comment on what they're feeling, of course, we don't know. It just feels like, from the outside looking in, that they're both starting to just sense that feeling of pressure a little bit.
I agree. I completely agree. I was really impressed with the way both players went about their work in the first set. Of course, there was a couple of mistakes on both sides of the table, but that is going to happen. We see that, match in, match out in this format and this pressure that we see out there. But I agree, both players have dipped in quality so far in this second set, and that could well be down to the pressure. Jordan's probably feeling the pressure. It's not easy to get over the line in matches. It's not easy, we've talked about it. This is his first time playing on telly. It's not easy to win. Maybe he's tensing up, and Ben the other way, and he's behind in this match, and he's under pressure because of that.
Jordan has a crucial advantage, of course, in this set, in that he doesn't have to win it. It's a real advantage. It's an advantage that's earned in the first set outright. It's such a big advantage heading into this second and final set.
Especially if you can convert this opportunity and go 2-1 in front. All of a sudden you know that your opponent's got to win 2 frames, and okay, there's still 15 minutes on the clock, but that clock will start to really get into Ben Clayton's mind if the next frame is drawn out, or Jordan Sillett gets next opportunity. All of a sudden that match clock is looking a real problem for Ben.
And Jordan's taken these out really nicely. Been clean, been crisp, and completes. It's 2-1 to Mr. Sillett. And that noise tells us half time in the set. 15-second shot clock about to be introduced, which does mean we've got so much pool still to play here. It's a long way to go. So Jordan isn't there yet, and Ben can take some comfort in that. He is not done and dusted just yet, but a big stat that I keep looking to and keep coming back to is the breaks for Ben. They need to start landing.
Yeah, 1 from 5 isn't a great ratio. On the other side of the table, your opponent's going 4 from 6. That's a little better. He's actually had the 2 clearances from the break because of it. He's actually had a couple more really good opportunities for break dishes. So, and I think the fact that we haven't seen a reverse dish on Ben Clayton's side of the table is because the splits haven't been as good as well. He's just not catching the break as well as Jordan Sillett. For him to get back in this match, you feel that the statistic is going to have to change. Both players have missed 4 pots. Fouls are very similar. Balls potted, considering number of frames won, isn't that out of line.
Time running.
He's crunched the break, but still no ball. The break is still against him.
Yeah, on that occasion, that's just bad luck, isn't it? A couple of balls out of the jaw. Look at the amount of balls at the top of the table. That shows you how well he hit them. Sometimes you can just get unlucky. Jordan immediately calling his extension. Just shows to me that he feels this is a massive frame, and he feels that if he can win it, it'll break the back of this match. Important first shot. And he is fuming with himself.
I think the arms being thrown up in the air, probably a sign that he feels he had a little kick on that, a bit of a skiddy one that went straighter than he felt he hit it. Also left a perfect angle to develop the only bad red on the table. All in all, that was a shot that couldn't have gone worse for Jordan, and given Ben the opportunity to
extension as well.
Yeah, and used an extension for it, which is so he's now burnt his extension in this frame, or in this set, I should say.
Don't forget as well that it's a useful thing to have when you're wanting to chew clock, as Jordan is. He's the one who'll be wanting that clock to finish the faster as the man who's ahead, and the man who gains an advantage if it's a tie. And we've seen it utilised really cleverly in the past, where the player will take their extension and just let the clock tick on down. It's a weapon that he now can no longer use.
A little bit surprised, and he may well have just missed the pot, but the way he played the shot made me feel like he was just trying to take the pocket to the top right-hand corner.
Yeah.
But for Ben, all those reds went. Okay, it needed a little bit of a pinpoint, couple of positional shots in the middle of the table there with those reds dotted around the yellows, but he's gone for trickier clearances tonight, so maybe he just missed the pot, but it just didn't look like that.
Yeah, I totally agree. I thought he was playing safe as well.
And he's putting his hope all in this yellow at the top of the table.
Which now is looking like a bit of a fool's errand, but This next shot is really difficult. It's a really good skill shot, but he has now got a really tough next green. In fact, he's going to play safe. It's a sensible choice. I'd love that white to have bounced out an extra couple of inches and sheltered behind the yellow at the top of the table, as it is. And he has a shot.
I was just going to say, he would have loved the yellow to bump up the table an extra 2 inches as well. Get the white welded to the yellow and have the other yellow nearest nearer the right-hand side cushion, right-hand corner pocket would have given him great advantage. Now he's very much behind in this tactical exchange, and if this plays out with the percentages, we're going 2-2.
This is going to be a great chance for Jordan. Easy opening shot, just needs to mind that white.
Lands nicely on one in the middle of the table. It should be fairly routine. Hasn't quite got hold of the white yet. He's okay, you know, he can recover, but if it landed perfect, then it would have been as routine as it gets. So he's playing this shot with quite a bit of side. Been the way all the way through this visit. Every shot he's just finished 2 or 3 inches away from being absolutely perfect, but he has finished perfect on the ball that matters, and that's the black. So we are at 2-2. You feel an opportunity missed there for Jordan Sillett to sort of get 1 foot into the, well, get one hand on the money, shall we say.
Reminder of what we still got to come. Shepard versus Mcintosh. $5,000 for an hour's work. Not a bad hourly rate.
Fascinating match. Martin Mcintosh is well, 2 great guys, but very interesting character is Martin. Always, every time we see him on Free Sports, very colourful, very entertaining to watch, plays a very entertaining brand of pool.
I'm excited for his brand of trousers, personally.
That's kind of what I was hinting at, is that he's, whether it's a tartan kilt or a tartan trousers or a colourful top, he's always got something. And I think he's got something pretty special for us tonight.
Oh, you tease.
5, Jordan Sillett to break. 2 frames all. Time running.
2 frames apiece. Just under 11 minutes to go. Jordan's break here. It's a controlled break, you feel. He's not put everything into that. Also hasn't made a ball. Can Ben Clayton get himself ahead?
We saw the last couple of weeks, the 4-1 format. If it is tied at 1 set all, then we'd go to a shootout. Not the case for these individual matches. We go to a tie-break frame. Both players will lag, and then the winner of the lag would get the opportunity whether to break or not in what would be a tie-break frame. 1 frame for all the money. A long way to go before we have that, but it's certainly on a possibility. Oh, a poor miss. Poor miss from Ben. He missed that by quite a long way. I think possibly in his mind was that could he quite get to the potting angle? It looked tight past the red and black, but he missed it by quite a margin for that sort of shot. All the reds have a pocket apart from the one just next to the black. I'm not sure if that goes, the overhead suggests it may have a chance into the corner pocket, may have half a pocket, but half a pocket at most. If not, then he's going to have to play into the red. I think he wanted to land a little bit straighter on this red to the bottom right hand corner so he could stay on the red next to the black to the top left hand corner pocket. Can't do that now, so we'll play into it. Oh, he's missed the cannon.
still alive, but it just feels a bit chasey, this.
I'm just wondering whether he did try to play the cannon just because of the way he played it. It sort of, maybe he didn't, but I really don't think that goes. Well, maybe it does. Looking at that camera angle, I think there is enough room. So he wasn't playing the cannon. He was just playing position on it.
The way he just checked the angle there suggests that he was doing exactly that. He's having a good hard look at this. Just under 8.5 minutes remaining. It was tight, wasn't it?
It was tight, but it was added difficulty was that the white was going to always be very close to the black, and actually the more of the pocket he pinched, so the more he played that onto the jaw, the more the white was going to go edge closer to the black, which is not what he wanted. He wanted the white to finish an extra inch down the table so he could just drop it in. He could take as much off the jaw as he wanted to, and he was guaranteed to be on the black.
Doesn't want that to go, really. Oh, no. As soon as he realised he was jammed behind the yellow. It's a great pot, really is. He's going to need another one. He's pulled a rabbit out of the hat before. Can he do it again? No. This is such a big frame to win. 7 minutes left. If Jordan Sillett had gone 3-2 up, he would have needed Ben to win the next two at 3.5 minutes per frame. No room for error. Now, if Ben goes in front, it's Jordan who chases.
Little fortunate there for Ben. He wasn't playing the nudge on this into the middle pocket. He was either playing past it or on it in a different way. Landed nicely enough.
Played that beautifully. Ben Clayton is in with a big shout now. 3-2 he leads.
Right where he wants to be, isn't it? We've seen this all the way through. All these money matches we've had, we haven't really seen anyone run away with it, or very few. It's always, because it is a 2-set match rather than a best of 3-set match, you always feel like you're never far away from being able to turn it around regardless of the situation you find in, because you're only playing that one set. If you know, a couple of frames behind in the second set, you don't have to do that much to get back in and win the match.
There's a big stack of cash that we've been handing out willy-nilly in the last few months.
It's slowly getting smaller, isn't it? Not many exchanged hands on this table over the last couple of months.
Frame number 6, Ben Clayton.
Can Ben find his break? He would love to find a ball here, give himself an opportunity.
That's a great hit. Oh, wow. I thought he'd been kicked in off. I cannot believe he hasn't.
And he thought he'd been kicked in off. He was already throwing the arms up in frustration.
Oh, how was that not dropped? And it's not... He can play a ball here. That's all he would have wanted.
It's a lovely shot, but he's got a problem because the yellow right at the top of the table, it's horrible. It's really horrible. It's hard to land on. It's very hard to develop. He may well just try and get the white somewhere near the bulk line on the left-hand side and accept an incredibly difficult pot along the top cushion. If I was Ben Clayton, I'd want to be getting on that ball as early as possible, and he certainly can't do it. Not for the first time tonight, Ben has left his trickiest ball till last. And has not landed on it in any way.
What's he got up his sleeve here? He must be accepting this.
Double into the centre. Oh, double into the corner. This isn't far away.
We've already seen one of them. We won't see another. And now then, Jordan with a great chance. And if anything here, I don't think he'll allow this to play into his mind, but Jordan here, if he's got his head screwed on to play gamesmanship, he wants this frame to take as long as possible. He is in the driving seat. There's no way from this position Jordan should lose this frame, he'll be thinking.
That's a poor first shot from Jordan to leave. Okay, he didn't leave the pot on, but he left the sight of that yellow to allow Ben just to nudge it where he has, and now Jordan's under a huge amount of pressure. This is the third time in this set that you feel, that's a lovely shot from Jordan, by the way, just to try and get the black into trouble, but you feel like Jordan's had an opportunity to win the frame because Ben's missed his last ball, and well, he didn't manage to do so the first 2 times he did it. And there's a chance that this one's going to get away from him as well.
He's got a shot. He's got a shot. That's a remarkable placement of the white. Double, treble. Oh, the double was so close. And Jordan Sillett gets away with one. And now he just wants to take his time. These reds should be a gimme the way they're laid out.
But they are, well, they should be a gimme, absolutely. He should make this clearance now. But he wants to use his full 15 seconds on every single shot because he wants to leave as little time on the clock to allow a clearance in the next frame from Ben Clayton. A draw in this set wins Jordan Sillett £4,000.
No, in the back of his mind, and it's his break next. He's in the driving seat now. Doesn't seem it. There's 2.5 minutes left and he's 3-2 down, but this is now a massive chance. Just has to make sure of these. That white ball is a little loose. It's not where he wanted to be at all.
This is a delicate little one. That is, he would love the little flick on that red just to get the white an inch further to the right. Tough pot. Oh, and he's missed it. And that will be the set. He is going to really kick himself. 3 times in this set he has had the opportunity to win the frame and he hasn't taken it. He is, well, a little delicate little cut on this black away from going 4-2 behind.
I was going to say, the pressure on this is no gimme. Scores extension. He is looking at this for a very long time. We've noticed a couple of times actually in this match Ben Clayton's just gone after the difficult pots, no hesitation whatsoever. He's had a big long think about this. Oh no, and he's missed it. Has he left the next red? He has, and that could be all she wrote.
It's not as easy as it was the last visit for Jordan Sillett because this black has just gone to an awkward position. I thought he was using the clock just to kill the time, just to stop Jordan having the opportunity for a break dish to win the match.
That's a great shot, I think.
Oh, it's perfect. What a lovely shot.
Nails it for 3-all. And there is 47 seconds left. It's Jordan's break next. And we've had various discussions about this over the weeks that we've been doing it, Simon. Don't think we'll see 100% power from Jordan in this break, something tells me.
Yeah, we don't see the tap break as it was very often. There are certain rules. You have to get a number of balls to hit the cushion or go past the centre pocket. As we have another look at the missed pot, that was effectively for the set to take us to a tie break frame. I don't think Jordan will do the tap break, but I don't think he'll put this as full power. The key for Jordan is control the white. Do not go in off Do not give Ben Clayton cue ball in hand and 35-40 seconds to make a running clearance to win the set.
It would be a heroic moment. We've seen stranger things on this table, ladies and gents. Let me tell you that for free.
You do not want to lose control of the white because you do want to risk the golden duck. You do not want to pop white and black. Jordan Sillett.
Could you imagine?
I mean, could you imagine that for that sort of money? But if Jordan Sillett makes a ball and keeps the white on the table, he will win the money.
Our referee, Fresco, just making absolutely sure she knows how important this break is. Making sure every single ball's touching.
Seventh frame. Jordan Sillett to break, 3 frames all. Time running.
47 seconds, and if, again, Jordan's intelligent about this, he knows to wait. He can chew a little bit of extra clock here. Break must come in before 0. He's made a ball, and that's going to be that. Great win this for Jordan Sillett. Really played well in that first set in particular. In the second, he has had to graft, it feels like, and he's had to really claw at this match to keep himself in it, to keep himself alive. He's had a little luck, he's done the maths, he knows he doesn't even have to play another shot. That is that. Jordan Sillett ties the second set and wins the match, £4,000 richer. Absolutely brilliant work from Jordan Sillett. So he had to work so hard in that second set, but he really toughed it out to get over the line.
He did, and I think they both played some great ball in the first set. Jordan played the better just to get over the line, especially with that double to win it on the black. Second set, they both tailed off a little bit. You felt, I certainly felt like Jordan had the opportunities to sort of punish mistakes from Ben, didn't take them. It looked like it was going to cost him, and we were going to a tie-break frame, but that missed black from Ben gave him one more opportunity, and that's all he needed, and made sure of it with that little break at the end, making a ball, and he walked away with the money, and a fantastic performance, really.
Great work as well from Jordan. Okay, our next match is almost upon us. For £5,000, Zak Shepherd versus Martin Mcintosh is next. You do not want to miss it. Well, we're a few weeks on from when the call out was made, but Zak Shepherd said, if you want some Martin Mcintosh, come get some. And a few weeks later, here we are with £5,000 on the line. It is not SmackDown versus Raw, it's Mcintosh versus Shepard. And here we go, Simon. This is going to be a great one.
Absolutely, and just mentioned Ben Clayton and Jordan Sillett. They held the record for playing the biggest money match on this table on TV for about 5 minutes while we were on advert break, because now we are playing for £5,000, and yeah, this is an absolute cracker. It really is.
Look at those trousers. Yes.
Oh, the black in motion straight away as well.
That would have been a wonderful start. Those trousers deserve a golden break. Martin Mcintosh is breaking. Not that you needed telling that after seeing his clobber in the downstairs department. Zak Shepherd dressed a touch more conservatively, as is very much his right. Got the dashes of red and green, which are a giveaway to his Welsh heritage. The neon tartan, a dead giveaway as to Martin's.
Yeah, absolutely. Although the dry break looked like it was going to give Zak a first opportunity, it wasn't really. It was a bit of a speculative trying to make a yellow off the black and yellow to open the frame up, but didn't come off. So it is Martin that gets first chance, although this is a tricky pot.
Oh, it's a good one though. Goodness me. That was not an easy one, and mine could be away here. Just having a look around the table. Need some careful play, but yellows are all there for him rather. We've seen Martin play on this table before, Simon. I remember the comment you made about him in that he can pretty much pot everything on the table. He's a potter. Puts himself in positions. He's entertaining to watch because he puts himself in difficult positions, because his cue ball control isn't the greatest, but what really sets him apart is almost the bravery he has to take on shots out of the ordinary, to back himself into corners.
Yeah, backs himself into a lot of corners, but more often than not comes up with the answers. His pattern play could definitely be improved. His cue ball control absolutely could be improved. If he wants to go up the ranks and improve as a player, that's what he's going to have to work on. But he has a lot of belief. He has a lot of ability, and I think that makes him a very entertaining player to watch. And he really cares as well. He really cares. He wants to get better. He wants to improve. And we've seen on Free Sports from where he was when we first saw him a year and a half ago. He's improved a huge amount just in that short space of time. So he certainly is learning and getting better. Just would have loved to dig into that just an inch further back on the white, and this is a lot easier.
This is a finicky little one. Does it drop? No. He wants it to. He was a couple of seconds away, I think, from trying to blow that one in, Martin Mcintosh. It was just a little bit too thick.
Well, we talked about his cue ball control, and straight away, first frame, we see just that slightly loose positional shot costing the visit.
And I feel a bit sorry for him because he was so close to proving us absolutely wrong. We thought it was a great pattern and absolutely spot on cue ball control until that very last shot.
Yeah, I agree. He did actually pick a very nice pattern. He worked it out really nicely. He just had to get the white to come back an extra inch, and he would have absolutely made that and completed the finish.
Zak's played percentage here and gone for the snooker, and the way that he reacted tells me that this is on. And there's your answer. Great swerve from Martin. And he's got the first shot here to take the first frame of the match. Zak didn't get that snooker right. Lovely shot from Martin Mcintosh. He takes first blood in this £5,000 clash. 4 minutes. The time of the first frame. No time at all, really. Zak to break now, Simon, and it's a bit of a tough one for him there because he didn't really have a chance. Martin really took that one out, but he'll be annoyed at the way that frame ended because he's coming from the world rule side of the game. He prides himself on his percentages and the way that he works his patterns. He thinks, we heard it in an interview earlier, he thinks that's where the difference in quality is, and he'll be annoyed at how that first frame's panned out in the end.
And I actually probably agree with a lot of what he said in his interview as well. And I think he'll be really annoyed because once your opponent misses the last ball, okay, it was hanging over the pocket, so you want to make sure you don't leave a 1 or 2 cushion escape so that he can pod it and win the frame. But he was very careless in leaving him just a delicate little swerve, and he knows he probably should have come up with a shot that was going to give him a chance to win that frame, and he wasn't able to do so.
Here we go then. Let's break for Zak. He's made a ball. Back on the move towards the top of the table. He's got a difficult first shot. That could be a bit of a thorn in his side here.
That's good news, bad news. He'll be pleased with the quality of the strike and he'll be pleased with the quality of the split, but he's been very unfortunate where the white's been kicked to. He has no shot, I don't think. The split's so good. Any shot on any ball, yet reds or yellows, and he'd feel like he's got a great chance to make the clearance. Now he doesn't even have a good safety.
It's a horrible one, that. It really is. He's not left Martin anything easy, but he's left him something to take on, no doubt about that. And we're still towards the first half of this set, so he's got 30 seconds to figure it out. He doesn't need anywhere near that much. It's this red down the right. Good shot.
Excellent first shot from Martin, wasn't it, to give himself this opportunity. Didn't have a good angle to get back up the table, backing his potting ability, which he does so often. Oh, that's a lovely little cue ball as well. Good pot, but the ball he's landed on, the one nearest the bottom cushion as we look from the overhead. It was a tricky little ball to land on, but he couldn't have picked it up and put it any better.
It's the second time we've seen Martin on this table, but even in the meantime, in between his 2 visits, he's been busy, prolific money match player on the circuit. He's constantly trying to arrange matches and contests.
I doubt anyone's played more money matches in the last 12 months than, or lockdown aside, than Martin Mcintosh. The last 12, 18 months he has been very active on the circuit, playing a lot of matches, turns down very few, and winning a high percentage of matches as well.
3 shots like this, he started beautifully. Really has. Yeah, 2-0. Absolutely no dramas. It's a really good clearance from Martin Mcintosh. High tariff stuff. And the Scot is flying. They call him Mad Mac. I think his trousers would potentially give you an insight into that. From Aberdeen, Martin Mcintosh, 32-year-old. He's a team world champion. Just shows you the level that he plays at to get in that Scotland side. He's got a great money match record.
17 wins and 7 losses with big pots as well. They're not small amounts of money he's playing for in any of his money matches. And it takes a lot of bottle to go out there and do that.
It's a great choice of favourite sports person, by the way. Anastasia Lupova. Required a bit of Googling on your behalf earlier, Simon, for me to research that, but you were very familiar with her work.
We were both Googling her this afternoon. A Russian pool player.
Great record, actually.
Yeah, very good record. And
Russian Master of Sport in pool, which is some title to be able to boast.
Yeah, and we were actually talking earlier though about how much pool's played around the world, and that just shows it that pool's played, absolutely everywhere in all different forms and variations. I don't think she's playing black ball or shootout rules, but there's many different forms of this game.
Yeah, it certainly is. Plays the diamond form over in Russia.
Yeah, as I found out today, that's played on a very similar to a snooker table with slightly smaller pockets, slightly tighter pockets. Oh, that's a good pot and a lovely little cannon. Not sure, Zak's come around to have a look, but I'm not sure the yellow to the right of those 2 reds go. It's very tight. Look at the red there. It's just nudged in front of that yellow. So it was good news, bad news. And that is why Zak has taken the pocket.
Martin here with some thinking to do. He gets those tartan pants of his up on the table.
That is a foul. Doesn't reach a cushion, which is a bit of a gift because it allows Zak Shepherd just to open up that bad yellow.
Yeah, this is now a big advantage.
I like the way that Zak played that, to understanding that the trickiest ball on the table once he develops the one at the bottom is this one at the top, because it's furthest away from the rest of his work. So developing the one at the bottom to land on the one at the top gives him the best opportunity to make the clearance.
worked these out really well, actually, Zak. Yes.
That was a lovely positional shot to hit that gap. He just needs to be careful with this next positional shot. Plenty of room for the black. No mistakes here. Should get himself on the board.
And no mistakes at all. Pretty simple black ball here to put himself back within 1. Just drifts it off that near jaw. Nicely played. And Zak Shepherd does indeed go back within 1. Never in doubt. His third match on this table, the Welshman took part in the Super Series on Free Sports in the summer, as well as a Shootout Showdown match as well. He is a prolific money match player. You can see there 35 money match games that he can gift us, and he has got a negative money match record. Loses more than he wins, but the nature of Zak Shepherd, he tends to play some very, very good players when he does take on these money matches. And you can see from the nature of the way that he called out Martin, he's not afraid to ask for them either.
Backs his own ability.
City fan.
Yeah, I was just going to say, backs his own ability, doesn't he? He really, you know, he's not going to shy away from a match if it's offered up. And yeah, he played a lot of very difficult matches. I think that's half the battle with money matches, actually, is being able to pick and choose. And well, the black's in motion again. And I think, actually, you know, without wanting to give Martin a disservice here, I think he probably gets matches that he possibly shouldn't get because he's underrated as a player. He's definitely improved, but because he plays because as we were talking earlier, that occasionally his patterns can be loose and he can run out of position with a white, but he's having to play those big shots, and other players might see that and think, well, he can't keep doing that. And I think I fancy myself beating him, but he does keep doing it, and he's improved as a player. And yeah, he's won a lot of matches where he's played opponents who thought they were favourite against him, and he's come out on top.
Zak hit a really nice break there. Just last ball in motion was the one that eventually ended up down the pocket. And he's hand up there. I don't think he meant to going into that yellow, but that's come out beautifully. Must have known he was coming close to that yellow, but I think just how nicely it's come out, a little bit guilty about.
I suspect because he held his hand up, he must have been trying to slide by it. Could have tried to style it out and made out he played it, but honest to say that it was a bit fortunate.
Disappointing lack of bravado from Zak.
Yeah.
After all the build up to this one. Almost want to see the heel-like behaviour from the pair of them.
Difficult positional shot here. Has to really get into this nicely. I don't know whether this yellow goes into the right centre. I don't think it does, but it does go into the bottom right corner. So he has a shot. And the cue ball isn't particularly difficult. This is just one you can concentrate on the pot and just stun it in.
He took a look at the middle pocket when he went round. But he's got to be taking us to the bottom right. Yeah, he is. Cued it like a dream. And we're going to go all squares. It's been a high standard affair so far from these two. Beautifully done from Zak Shepherd. No messing about, and we're all square after 4.
Really nicely done by Zak. Very goes 2-0 down, but 2 excellent finishes to get himself back to 2-2, and he gets the first break and dish on the board. And you can see early in the match he's getting the better of the breaks. 1 potted, 1 dry for Martin. 2 potted for Zak. But the only ball that was missed, not regarded as a missed pot, was when Zak tried to make a ball off another ball. Speculative effort at the start of the match. So both players look to be in pretty good form here.
Yeah, I've been really impressed with both, actually. Both look comfortable and confident. And sometimes in this early going, that is half the battle. It's just settling, feeling like you belong out there. Both these players no doubt feel that way. And Mac makes a ball. Both favouring the cut break. I think that's purely because of the element of the golden break. These two have been great exponents of the shootout so far on Free Sports. They really buy into all the different ways they can take an advantage, and golden break is one of them. If you can make a golden break, it's such a boost.
Turn things around quickly or stretch a lead quickly. Nice shot from Martin just to cover that top bag. But the cut break, the reason we're saying that is that the cut break, if you hit the black will move more from hitting the cut break. So with the cut break, you're actually hitting the second ball down on either left or right. So you're hitting the ball that's adjacent to the black, which does get the black moving more than the front ball break more often than not. Not always the case, but more often than not. So you are more likely to make the black off the break with a cut break.
Zak using his extension there just to work out this frame. Reds are there for him, but they just require a little bit of attention. And that first shot should help him out.
Needs one shot, doesn't he? And skill shot to that top right hand corner. Pot the yellow, develop the red, and land on something. You want to do that as early as possible. He's now 3 shots into this visit and he hasn't been able to. Can't do it from here. Chasing a finish now. Hasn't got an angle once again to deal with that red at the top of the table. I think that if he pots the one, so if he takes this one he's nearest to into the centre pocket and leaves an angle on the one by the black, he should be able to leave an angle to go into the one near the pocket. But the white finishing on the cushion means he can't do a huge amount more than play natural angle. Well, he's now looking to see whether the white's going into the black. Will it flick off it thin enough to go into the run yellow at the top of the table? No, missed the black altogether.
Oh no. Well, that's about as badly as that could have gone. This is going to require a real slice of fortune. He's having a little bit of luck. He knows where he wants to play it. So he's having a little look at the line. Total snooker's been called. And that is going to be end of break. And now Martin Mcintosh will be licking his lips at that opportunity. And that's all born out of the safety shot that he played at the start of the frame. Played a really good shot. And that has got him the opportunity to come back and have a second visit.
He decided he didn't want to take on the finish. He decided he didn't want to chase it. And I suspect Zak was two shots through the visit thinking, I don't really want to be taking on this finish either. Oh, that's a bad miss pot from Martin. But once you get to where Zak was, you kind of, even though Zak knew he was odds against, he probably felt that the safety option wasn't there. I might as well keep chasing it now and see if I can come up with that big shot to win it. And of course he didn't. He's got another opportunity.
Oh, it's a surprising miss from Martin Mcintosh, but still the fact that he hadn't taken that yellow out of the top corner pocket worked out in his favour. He won't get another bite of the cherry. Got away with it. Didn't cue it nicely. White ball jumping back up.
Yellow nearest his hand's a bit of a problem. Probably play for it as a double. Could move it. He went to move it, but he's not on the one at the bottom of the table, so he has landed on it as a double. Unlikely to take the safety option from here. Hard to hide the white in a position that's going to gain him an advantage. And the reason I say that, okay, he's got the snooker, but it's a one cushion escape from Zak Shepherd here, and if he plays it delicately enough, he's going to put a huge amount of pressure on Martin to come up with a big shot to win the frame. I think if Martin goes for the double, he's missed the red, so you have to say that good choice from Martin in the end. I didn't think that was a ball that Zak was going to miss. In fact, any contact on that red was going to gain him an advantage.
That's a real surprise that he's missed that snooker. Did not expect that at all. Yellow ball made down the rail. Amazing how often they go in when you're just planning on leaving them over the pocket. Keyed that one in beautifully though. Well, he's got away with this frame. I think it's safe to say Martin Mcintosh, Zak Shepherd giving him a couple of opportunities. But in the end, it's Mad Mac who heads into the lead. 3-2 with 9 to play.
Slightly surprising the way Martin went about that. He kind of dribbled over the line a little bit in that frame. Didn't really, where he was in complete control of previous frames, but he did get there, which is all important, and takes that lead again.
We've loved showing you Shootout Pool here on Free Sports. We have seen some absolutely brilliant matches, brilliant tournaments. Those are the Shootout champions. The tournaments that were played in 2019. No relation, but Jordan Sillett, the king of the Shootout, another Welshman. Liam Dunster getting a couple of titles. Simon Fitzsimmons winning the grand final in Aberdeen in the Grand Manor. Seen him a couple of times on this table as well. Great to see the players back in action. Some notorious money match challengers, some of the best professional players. Come one, come all.
That statistic we just put, that graphic we just put up, is absolutely incredible. It's just hard to believe what Jordan Sillett did at the start of the shootout. Start the shootout era here on Free Sports to win. I mean, these titles, these tournaments, they're so volatile because of the way the rules are set up. It really just promotes it. You're under drama, it's short races, and for Jordan to win that many tournaments and make that many finals, it's just incredible. And also great to see Liam Dunster, the IPA #1 player, winning a couple of titles as well. Fascinating to see the different styles at the table, and been excellent to see.
Back to what we were saying earlier, that styles make matches. It can be great entertainment, and many thought with the advent of the Champions Cup and all those sorts of tournaments, the shot clock enforced ones, that the Duster might struggle. But even a 15-second shot clock, a 30-second shot clock, doesn't matter.
I think he's brilliant. He loves proving people wrong. He's a great champion. He's a fantastic player, and he's always improving. He's always learning. He's always trying to figure out how he can get better and improve, which is a scary thought considering how young he is, and he can dominate. Well, I wouldn't say dominate the game, because I don't think anyone can dominate Paul, but he's going to be at the top of the game for a very long time. But when
Martin.
Oh, that's a poor miss from Martin once again. But people tell him that he can't win a race, a tournament with a 45-second shot clock, he goes and does it. People tell him he can't win a tournament with 30-second shot clock, he goes and does it. And then a 15-second, he just loves proving people wrong.
I don't know why people still bother doubting him. It's a great shot from Zak. Opens the frame up for him a bit here.
It's a great shot. It hasn't been rewarded with a nice leave, though. Oh, it's another brilliant shot.
What a shot. And again, he's not been rewarded.
It's getting tougher, but if you can keep pulling out shots like that, this is absolutely as played.
Oh, that's magnificent.
That really is brilliant.
Once he got out the hat this time, into the box of tricks he goes again. That is going to hover, it's not going to go.
Slightly disappointing that he's just gone for a straight pop there and not gone for some sort of combination shot, because he was on a little bit of a roll there.
An absolutely brilliant play from Zak Shepherd. Deserved more. But sometimes Paul is a cruel mistress. Martin tried to move the red at the top of the table with his first shot, didn't manage to do it. Don't think it's going to be a requisite. He's got to work these 3 reds out here. Black's a given in the middle of the table, goes to just about every pocket bar 1. Key shots coming up.
threw it wide. Didn't cue that one quite as well as he has done. Misses starting to creep in here for Martin.
Which is unexpected for how well he was cueing and how well he was playing at the start of this match. Looked like he was absolutely not going to miss, and he's had a couple of really surprising misses. That was a bit of a tougher shot, but there's a couple that he's had into corner pockets. Absolutely routine pots, ones that you do not see him miss. Just wonder if that's getting in his head a little bit.
Yeah, a couple of routine ones will frustrate him, and that one down the rail was, he would have felt in the back of his mind that was for the set, really. Okay, it would have only put him 4-2 in front, but with only 4.5 minutes on the clock, or there or thereabouts at the end of the frame, he would have felt that would have gone a long way to winning the set, although he's going to get another opportunity. That's a loose one from Zak.
That come out okay?
I'm slightly surprised he's played the plant. I think he could see the one over the corner pocket clearly enough, so I'm surprised he's gone for the plant. There is a chance that red could come just down the rail a little bit. Oh, he's recovered that well.
He's okay. And he's actually ended up beautifully on this black into the bottom right. Yeah, slightly risky choice, but it's come off for him. And no doubt about that one. 4-2, not long left on the watch for Martin Mcintosh to take this first set here. Just joining us here on Free Sports, and it's £5,000 on the line in the Shootout Showdown. We are playing black ball rules, which means the ball must hit the cushion out of contact. A foul introduces a shot and a visit. No 2 shots or 2 shots carry or anything like that. You can pot a yellow and a red, as long as you put one of your own colour, which introduces skills shots. Golden break and golden duck means that if you pop the black off the break, you win it. The frame, that is. Pop the black and the white, you will lose the frame. 30-minute set clock. We will take the score at 30 minutes regardless. If you win 5 frames, you take the set. If it gets to 0 and you're in front, you take the set. Martin Mcintosh at this stage can do both. That's a bit of a sticky break, and Zak Shepherd now needs to make hay.
Didn't catch that break well at all. Pretty loose. And it's actually not the worst split. It looks congested, it looks awkward, but the reds have opened up. They've all got a pocket.
And there's plenty of time in the watch here for Zak to get a couple of sets on the board, a couple of frames rather on the board. He's breaking next as well. He's been breaking well, so he'll back himself at this juncture.
I think that little nudge he just had on the black has made things awkward here. I think that the nudge on the black meant the red doesn't go into the left centre pocket, which would have been ideal for his finish. And now he's going to have to play a really, really good positional shot. There isn't much margin of error to land on this red below the black.
Here it comes.
Needs the white to come down the table more, and he hasn't. Hit and hope. Oh!
I tell you what.
He was hoping, and it almost came in. He almost makes the black as well. Look how close both balls come. Oh, that would have been something else.
And that would have been a legal finish as well.
Oh, it would have been absolutely fine if both balls had gone in. Absolutely. Wow.
That was so close to being something absolutely amazing. And Martin Mcintosh would have felt sick. But at the moment, he's feeling pretty good. 2-frame advantage, 2 minutes on the watch. He's going to use every second now of his shot clock just to take this set away from Zak Shepherd.
I'm surprised he went up the table, actually. I thought he might stay at the bottom end of the table, possibly play a safety or a snooker in a couple of shots' time, using the ones at the bottom of the table just for more control. It was going to be difficult to clear up, and it was going to be difficult to kill enough time going the way he went, but he's earned the foul anyway. Another surprising miss from a snooker for Zak Shepherd. That was quite a big target for a player of Zak's ability.
Quite a big target, a potting angle as well. It's dangling precariously, and you know, it wasn't over if he'd have made that over the pocket. It was a bit of a risk, that, from Martin.
Well, that's not the best shot either. Just when he needed to land on a ball, to waste 15 seconds. He hasn't. So it's going to be another shot for Zak. And okay, this is a much tougher hit, which is part of the reason I said he might play the snooker at the bottom of the table before.
Got to tell you what. Oh, that's so unlucky.
We were talking about that shot in the previous match.
Well, here it is, executed to perfection. He could not have hit that better. And the fact it's bounced out the jaws and made contact with the white ball again and not gone down is baffling.
And he was walking around the table. He was walking around the table and thinking, I've got a black here, down the rail into a big pocket. And that's another loose one from Martin. And the reason I'm saying that's a loose one from Martin is this is an opportunity for Zak to win the frame with enough time on the clock to have a break. It is Zak Shepherd's break in the next frame. He'll have a chance for a golden break to tie this match up if the black goes in.
It's not over till it's over. And he's going to have one shot and one shot only. That's a golden break. Oh, here we go. And we have seen this black ball in motion a lot.
Martin will be sat there nervous. He'll be sat there very nervous, and the reason for that is he knows he should have won this set. He should have killed that frame off, whether that's potting enough balls or opening things up, playing a better snooker. He should have found a way to kill enough time to win that frame of Paul, and Martin is sat there praying that there is not a golden break on this next shot.
I mean, it's odds against the golden breaks. We do not see an awful lot of them, but you never want to leave that open to chance, do you? Never want to take that risk. Zak Shepherd's having a little smile to himself. He knows he shouldn't really be in this position.
Showing 3 frames to 4.
Going to be the cut break for sure.
Where's that black ball? It is going to come up safe. So Martin Mcintosh will indeed win the opening set. Zak Shepherd concedes.
Thank you.
And it's 1-0 to Mad Mac. And Zak Shepherd will be on the comeback trail when we come back. Welcome back to the Shootout Showdown here on Free Sports. Still plenty to play for in this one. Martin Mcintosh leads. He's taken the first set by 4 frames to 3 in the end, but it got a little bit dramatic towards the closing seconds of that one. Zak Shepherd having a chance to golden break to halve the set. As it is, it's 1-0, and now Zak Shepherd must win this second set to try and force a tie-break frame. Martin Mcintosh is in the driving seat, and he's a good front runner.
Possibly not the fireworks we are expecting in that first set. Both players played some nice pool. Both players made a few mistakes you didn't expect. A couple of odd choices tactically, but was sort of billed as a bit of a spicy affair. But so far, it's been a bit of a slow one by their standards, shall we say. But I feel there's a twist and a level we're going to go to yet.
From Martin Mcintosh. We saw him start the last set really well. Looked so impressive. And just threw away a couple of absolute gimme pots that he would never usually. This is a little bit more like it. Calm, controlled, composed.
Yeah, should have wrapped up the previous set easier than he did. In the end, he had to dodge a little bit of a bullet at the end there, but managed to do so. Oh, that's not a good nudge.
Yeah, tough queuing on this next one. This is tough. Yeah, he won't slide by that really and knock into the red that he's currently glued up against. This is awkward queuing. Done really well.
There must be just about enough room to play the yellow below the black in a couple of shots' time, but he's going to have quite a bit of angle on it, which is going to take some control away from landing on the black itself. So that white is going dangerously close to some reds. I don't think he can avoid them all.
I think he's going to have to trust a little bit to luck here and just hope the reds hold the white. He has avoided the reds. It's a lovely little shot. not an easy pot, but it's a clean pot.
Yeah, would have loved to not get the red at all, but at least he has a shot.
Shot, Martin Mcintosh. That's a great clearance. Great start from Mad Mac in this second set. Brilliant, this. And that's what we saw at the start of the first set. Really, really sweet clearance from Martin there. Much more like it.
Yeah, put himself into a little bit of trouble, but was able to recover with a couple of really good pots. But he's got a really nice pace around the table. He does look like very controlled, and he plays within a really good rhythm. And at the back end of the first set, he just seemed to get out of it. But now he's back in that with a really nice reverse dish. He's up and running, and if he can keep his nose in front in this set, he'll always know that Zak's got to win 2 to turn it around.
Second frame, Martin Mcintosh to break, leading 1 frame to 0. Time running.
If he goes 2-0 up, oh, what a start for him. He's got the break to do so.
Oh, the break didn't open up at all.
And that's a gammy one.
Yeah, didn't get the break well.
And it's a congested bottom of the table. I don't think it's one of those tables where it looks congested, but actually it's open. I think this is just congested.
Yeah, I agree. Just looking at the replay of that break, he caught the ball that she was trying to hit, which is second ball down the left-hand side as we look from the main camera angle, and he caught it too thin. Doesn't get the power going through the pack, and the split doesn't open up. You want to get as close to that front ball as possible without hitting it.
Yep, Zak claims reds and says over to you, mate. Can't say I blame him.
That's a nice shot from Martin.
Really good.
Just taking control of the bottom left-hand corner of the table. Can't see Zak going for this. Just nudge this one over as well. There's just no future in trying to clear up with the way the reds are lined up.
The yellows definitely have the advantage at the moment, but it's still not really close to a clearance. That's going to drop, I think. I'm not sure Martin wanted that to.
There's definitely more of an argument for Martin trying to go for a finish than Zak, but it's still, he's going to need 1 or 2 little nudges to go his way in opening things up. But it's difficult for Martin to find a safety shot that's going to gain him an advantage, and it does come down to patience.
He's opened them up a little bit. A couple of yellows now to the bottom left go, no problem at all, but there's too many balls that don't have pockets. So he's just going to play safe.
I think that's a good choice. I was wondering whether he was going to continue the aggressive shots or not, but he's still in a, I wouldn't say in control, but this frame's in the balance, and he tried to make something happen. It didn't. No point throwing it away and chasing it.
It's a great response from Zak Shepherd. Really nice little safety. And he's still going to go back and forth here.
I think this now does come down to a battle of patience, and it'd be fascinating to see which player breaks first. But one thing you will say is that Zak Shepherd is the one. I know there's 24 minutes on the clock, and I know it's an awful long time in Shootout Pool, but Zak does have to win 2 frames of pool to get back into this match. Martin can be as patient as he likes here.
Yeah, he's in absolutely no rush at all. And Zak isn't at the moment, but before too long, this sort of frame can really get away from you on the clock. You don't see a lot of them, but it is so even and so difficult to sort of pick a favourite in this one. It may well come down to a battle of patience and who blinks first. And Zak can't really afford to make the mistake, and he doesn't want to go 2-0 down, which gives Martin such an advantage in that sense.
Martin's considering being aggressive here, and quite rightly decides against it. He was thinking about playing the plant and screwing the white across the table as a skill shot, but there's just no need for him at this stage. The problem both players have is, or Zak in particular, is the fact that it's very hard to force an opening in this situation. I actually think Zak's done a good job so far in just creating a little bit of separation in those balls at the bottom of the table. I think he could possibly nudge 2 reds into the open here. That's what he's tried to do, and that's okay. So he's only really got one really bad ball, the red to the bottom left-hand side. The one that's over the pocket, okay, he can't get to the potting angle, but he could play a 3-ball plant on that ball. Well, it's Martin that's lost his patience first. Double and a skill shot. Oh, what a shot.
What a shot.
He's actually a little bit lucky he hasn't landed better.
Yeah, he deserved to be absolutely on his next ball here. As it is, it's a tentative little drop in, but he's made it. That's a brilliant couple of shots.
I wasn't sure at first glance whether he could cut that one back in, but he could.
That skill shot was brilliant.
Oh, he's come up short. Has he come up short? No, he's okay. Just for a second I thought he'd flick the red in front of the white, but he was absolutely fine.
Well, this for 2-0. Battle of will, a battle of patience, but ultimately it's the skill of Martin Mcintosh which gets him across the line. What a shot it was. Shot fitting, fit enough to really win any frame.
That was brilliant, really was, wasn't it, from Martin? He wasn't just hitting and hoping. He wasn't just trying to find something and make it happen. He was patient, he waited. You could tell he wanted to be aggressive. I thought he might go the shot before, but he finally felt he had his opportunity. And it just shows you the confidence he's got in doubles to be able to play the double and the skill shot.
Such a good shot, that. And didn't really overplay it. It's temptation sometimes when you're playing a skill shot into another pocket than the one you're actually playing is to get quite a bit of pace on it, to generate a bit of movement, try and force it, but that was totally controlled. Had a really, really brilliant clearance in the end, and a really interesting tactical frame, that. And Martin Mcintosh, full credit for coming out the victor.
Yeah, and I expect Zak's probably sat there while the balls are being re-racked and thinking, should I have done something differently there? Should I have tried to make something happen? And to be honest, you can't really question his choices in that frame. It's just that he was trying to open things up, which he had to kind of do. I know there's a lot of time left on the clock, but he couldn't allow the clock to become a factor. So he was just trying to nudge things open enough whilst he had control of a pocket. It's just Martin's come up with a big shot to win the frame, and all credit to Martin, really.
Yeah, I have to give a huge amount of credit. Really impressive, and he's back at the table again. Dry break from Zak. Not quite going for him at the moment.
Both players really struggling with the break now.
But unlike the last frame, there's a clearance on here.
Yeah, not as congested. It was good contact from Zak on the break, just didn't make a ball, rather than it being a poor break from Martin in the previous frame. Getting a white clean because he felt he had a kick on that first shot. He wanted that white to travel through quite a bit further. He's still got a shot on. Red near the black is difficult. That doesn't have a pocket, and I don't think he can get to the potting angle. He'd need to move it in some way. He'd actually snookered himself on the red at the bottom of the table, so he wasn't going to get that far anyway. But at least he has control of the bottom right-hand corner of the table. Not ideal for Zak. Good result for Zak.
Martin is trying to open these up. And a great chance.
Red by the black continues to be a problem. What angle does he have? Not great. Wanted a little bit more angle to be able to come on and off the right hand side cushion. I don't think he's quite got enough. He'd have to really force it. If he screws straight, he might just be able to get to the black. No, it's just getting across to the left hand side of the table. And he's going to try and play this red off the black.
Well, if this goes in. Oh, it's close. Oh. That was nearly brilliant. Great vision to see the shot. It was tough in its execution.
Not easy for Zak to win the frame at this visit, but he absolutely has to win the frame from here. His opponents missed last ball. When that happens, you're in the driving seat. You just have to find a way of winning the frame. And when you're 2-0 down and a set down, you cannot afford to not win it. And that's given Martin a chance.
It's always a gamble. It's always a gamble. We saw a similar situation in reverse. Zak had a very similar scenario in the last set, and he couldn't make the snooker. Martin laid for him, and in rolls reverse there, Martin has answered the call, and Zak gives away the third frame of this set. It may be the percentage shot, but I never like it.
No, I don't. My issue with that shot is Martin was never going to miss the ball, so he was never gaining an advantage from the shot that he played. The actual issue I had there for Zak is he opened the black up. I would have wanted to keep that black as tight as possible, just to stop Martin. If he makes a ball, he's got no shot on the black. So I possibly would have looked down the table, even if I had to pot one and then get into a good snooker, but I absolutely would not have wanted to open the black up. So it feels a long way back here for Zak Shepherd. He's got to win 4 frames. Has to win the set. There is enough time on the clock, about halfway through, in fact, exactly halfway through this second set.
Your spidey senses were tingling there, weren't they?
Just felt halfway through, you know. Martin's not catching the break well. He's changed to go front ball this time. He still didn't catch it particularly well.
Made a ball though, which is half the battle. He's got a chance, although, well, I can't imagine that's a safety, but it's difficult to imagine that's a miss at the same time.
Yeah, it's a bizarre one, isn't it? There's been 2 or 3 like that for Martin in this match. Needs a little bounce. He's got it.
That's a really bad shot. And the reason why I say that, it's almost a bizarre miss. Take a look at another look at it in a moment, I don't doubt, but let's see if you can see something I'm not, Simon, but it was a strange miss from Martin. He's had a couple of them. That's a lovely little bounce for Zak Shepherd. So here's the miss.
Just trying to pinch the pocket, wasn't he? Just trying to pot it thick, control the white. Just 2 or 3 pots in this match. Has just been a little careless from Martin, really.
Zak's played this finish beautifully so far. A couple of lovely little cannons and bounces. Just wonder if he'll feel comfortable with where he's knocked the red in relation to the black ball there.
I think it's just about gone far enough that he doesn't have to worry about it. He can just drop this yellow in and the black will still go. It was close to getting in the way though. Oh, he's had to play into it. Oh, how well has he played that shot though?
That's a ridiculously good shot. Great clearance from Zak Shepherd there. Yes, he was let in by Martin and he would have been surprised to have been so, but that's a great counter clearance. Not a reverse dish, but his first visit to the table, and he absolutely cleans up. Really good clearance.
That's his best moment in the match by quite some distance. Excellent finish.
Some lovely cannons. It was all almost snooker-esque at the bottom of the table there, wasn't it? Some really lovely white ball play. See the stats there. And you can see the miss spots just creeping up for Martin. 5 in total. I'd say 3 of them he could probably play left-handed if he wanted to.
Yeah, I agree. It's just, and the other ones, in the first set weren't really punished in the same way. That time he has been fully punished by Zak. A careless pot from Martin. Maybe Martin subconsciously has kind of just took his foot off the gas a little bit there. He's 3-0 up. He's a set in 3-0. He's probably thinking that the work's always the black. Not this time. But he probably thinks the work was almost done. But you've still got to put the finishing touches to it, and he's allowed Zak back in. A dry break isn't going to help the cause.
No, it is not. These reds look pretty tasty. That's a lovely little shot. Opens at the bottom of the table beautifully. Only red that... There's a couple of reds that might give him a bit of a headache. There's that one he's just nudged into there, which now is absolutely no longer a problem. But one at the top of the table needs landing on.
The potting angle one at the top is not too bad, but it's what you're going to be on afterwards. If he leaves it for his last ball, which is what I was expecting, but now he's decided to go up for it, which is probably a good choice because he can now play it with a bit more control. Oh, that's poor. Had to get lots of left-hand side on that just to miss that yellow. Loads of room as long as he misses that yellow on the red at the bottom of the table. And then there's all the room in the world to come back up the table for the black in a couple of shots' time. Now he's chasing it a little bit.
We just had a look at it, and the way he's played, I think he can still land on it as a double. I think that might be his only saving grace.
He's come around to have a look to see whether he can land on it on the left-hand side. He can definitely land on it on the right-hand side. The problem is he can't really get there. So I think you may be right. I think if he's coming up the left-hand side of the table, the double may be best option.
So a bit of a bounce.
It's controllable. He's got the double in the centre. He'll go very close to this. Very close indeed.
I don't think it's what he was initially playing on, but he's got a shot. Oh, he jaws it. Oh, I tell you what.
Oh, just for a second. That looked like he was tracking.
It was. That would have been an outrageous fluke.
He's left Martin. Martin's left Zak in a bit of trouble here. He's got to find a shot. That black's gone close enough to the corner to cause him a problem, and his safety shot isn't easy. But if he can land the first safety shot, he might be taking the pot on here. He is. It's a controlled safety shot or a controlled pot off the yellow, in that he wasn't leaving the direct pot on, but he was always leaving a double.
And you back Martin with this double. This is more pot than not. But he misses, and he goes in off. Shot and a visit then for Zak Shepherd to get himself back into this frame and this set, and indeed the match.
Free shot, open up the 2 yellows at the bottom of the table, and then they're all in play. Oh, that's poor. Oh, the top one still goes. Just for a second, I thought he'd tied those 2 back up again, but he's fine. Take a 3-ball plant in the middle if he wanted to. Might get through to the 2-ball plant. That's not the best shot he's ever played either. He's just not got control of this visit. He's kind of reacting to where the ball's finished rather than controlling what's happening out there. Putting himself under more pressure than he needs. But that's a nice shot.
It's not a bad recovery there, was it? Goodness me. Rammed those 2 pots home, and we're on track. 3-2 in a moment. A long way to go. Well over 8 minutes. Remember, Zak must win this set. He still needs 2 more and to hold Martin to 3 if he is to do that. But it's 3-2, 8.5 to go.
He'll rue the fact that he hasn't done that more in this match when he's had the opportunity to punish a mistake from Martin when he's missed last ball or not landed on his last ball, but he does manage to do so this time. Needed a couple of efforts though.
So just 27 is Zak Shepherd.
Very active on the money match scene as well. Look at that, 35 matches played. Quite a lot of money matches to be putting yourself in, especially when you're only 27 years old, isn't it? That's
just thinking that, yeah, it really is. You see in the background there are referee Roscoe getting things set. Big thanks to Viv tonight, stepping in on short notice. Regular referee Don Evans sadly unwell. We wish Donna all the very best. I hope she's back with us soon. Now she'll be watching.
Yeah.
Eagle-eyed as ever.
Absolutely. Hopefully recovers quickly.
Now then, Martin Mcintosh, this is a chance. He's got a little bit of work to do. That's not going to help.
Got the perfect line on that cue ball, just didn't hit it. Needed a decent amount more pace actually, just to nudge everything open. It will be just a safety shot, I think. Maybe a double. Oh, it is the double.
Oh, shot.
Oh, what a double. What a shot that is. Just when I thought he might slow things down and try and just burn a little bit of the clock down.
He's opened up the black in the middle pocket as well. It's a terrific shot. Really, really good from Martin Mcintosh. He has played some unforgivable misses, but he has played some absolutely champagne pool at times. It's what makes him so brilliantly watchable.
It is a strange thing with Paul actually, that a player that gets themselves into trouble but comes up with a big shot to recover them can be more watchable at times or more entertaining than somebody that plays flawless pool throughout, because they never look like they've got a tough shot to play. They're playing so well.
Paul's equivalent of a box of chocolates. You never know quite what you're going to get with Martin Mcintosh. Having opened up that left centre pocket, the black will now go. It's a really, really good clearance this, and it will put him one away from home and one away from £5 grand. Mad Mac is roaring here.
His break's been really weak tonight. He's just not been hitting the break well, but this time he catches them well and gets his first break dish as a reward, and he is on the verge, isn't he?
Favourite pool player, Zak Shepherd. Okay.
Yeah, just
we don't buy that one, do we?
No, we do not. A little bit of needle continued on the profiles that the players provide before the match.
Team World Champion, which is such a great accolade, and also, not only that, it's an accolade in itself to be on that team that he was on.
Well, yeah, he's actually captain of the team, but the strength in Scotland is huge. But he's the captain of the Scottish team. He plays although he plays predominantly black ball rules or shootout rules, he actually is the captain of the world rules international team. Where's the black? Where's the black?
Oh,
wow.
Would you believe it? Oh, Viv Roscoe's having a giggle, I'm having a giggle, we're all having a giggle. Watch that.
Scared the pocket twice, scares it in the centre, makes it in the corner. Well, if ever Zak Shepherd needed a golden break, it was there.
Amazing.
Wow.
That's absolutely brilliant.
That's kept him in the match because the set clock was getting away from him. He was really he had to win 3 frames of pool. Very little time on the clock. All of a sudden he just has to win 2. He has the time to win 2. This match is still very much alive.
Oh, it really is. This is amazing. Let's have another watch of it. First thing, immediately threatens the middle pocket. You think, no, it's been kicked away by that yellow. Then it tracks towards. Is it going to pass? Yes, yes. And in it goes. Unbelievable. Well, he needed a golden break
Frame
in the
number 8,
first set,
Martin
didn't get it.
Mcintosh to break.
He's got the golden break,
4 frames
and
to
perhaps
3.
he needed
Time
it
running.
the most. Still 6.5 minutes. Martin's break makes the ball. He needs 2 frames, Zak Shepherd. He has got plenty of time now to do that. Probably just about had enough time, but my goodness me, a golden break helps him out.
It really does. It really does. Gives him hope, but he's going to have to sit there and hope, because this is an opportunity for Martin just to wrap the match up.
Yeah.
Not the best break from Martin, but he made a ball, which is important. Because of the rules set the way they are, he can play yellow onto red and then take reds. Coming around to have a look to see whether he can play a plant. He's landed nicely on his next ball.
Just plant isn't there.
So just when you thought it was going to open up for Martin, and he was, especially when you consider the quality of the break clearance he made in the previous frame, I thought he might go ahead and wrap the match up there, but he's given Zak another opportunity, and a bit of a spring in Zak's step all of a sudden. These yellows are okay. These yellows are open. Has to be careful not to nudge the red in the way. He's done that.
Oh, and that's a lovely little nudge in the middle of the table.
Yeah, I didn't know whether he was going to try that, because it did go to the corner pocket, but nudging it into the centre makes things easier.
Well, well, well.
He has the...
Are we going to have a last frame decider?
To get a last frame decider.
Yeah.
Last frame decider to get a tie-break decider. We could well be going there, because he can pick whatever angle he wants to get onto this black. Plenty of room. I think he can just about punch the cue ball across, yeah.
For 4 apiece, with 4 minutes to go. Yes, Zak Shepherd, lovely work from Shepton. And we will go to a final frame decider in this second set. It may set up a tie break. Decider after decider on the cards here. Zak Shepherd's break as well.
Can he find another golden break?
Oh, can you imagine?
He's actually got the black in motion a lot tonight. He really has been catching the break quite nicely in terms of getting the ball, getting the black moving. Clock stops at this stage of each set, so there's plenty of time here for the... There's no pressure on the referee like they used to be in when the clock didn't stop. It just allows the referee to take their time to get things right, which is important for the players. A really good addition to the rules.
Frame number 9, Zak Shepherd to break. 4 frames all. Time running.
Makes a ball. And a great chance for Zak Shepherd to force a decider. Well, has he given himself a bit of a problem here? Because in taking reds there, he has given himself a problem. He's gone for the long double. That actually, a little bit of shot clock trouble for Zak Shepherd has really landed him in it. He's come out okay. It's a pretty decent safety in the end.
Hasn't thrown it away really. He knew what he was doing. He wasn't really expecting to make the double. He was just trying to get that bad ball into play. He has put himself in a snooker because of it. A nice shot from Martin, but at least he didn't throw the frame away in the previous visit.
Oh, but he had the chance to win it, and that will sting.
He did. He almost looks like he's rushing a little bit, but okay, it looks like he needs to rush because there's 2 minutes 47 on the clock, but 15 seconds a shot, that's quite a long time.
That's ages.
But now he's fouled, there won't be ages, because Martin doesn't actually have to make a clearance here. He can just pot some balls. although he should have a chance to win the frame and make the clearance.
Yeah, we saw at the end of the first set he got a
he's
little
fouled. He's fouled. Oh, what a mistake from Martin. That is. Oh, he's laughing because that's so careless.
One free shot, one visit.
That's criminal.
It really is.
That is criminal. Oh, Martin.
And that's not the best from Zak either. He needed to develop both reds. He's only developed one.
He's got time. He doesn't have to rush. If he plays 15 seconds for every shot here, he's got enough time. So he just needs to focus. But he couldn't swerve it around. He was careless on his free shot. Oh my goodness me. Both players don't want to win it. Unbelievable.
Did something just fall in?
So Martin fouling. We're just looking on replay here that Martin fouled. You can see he has to hit a cushion after contact with his ball, and he was just trying to play the red into the red, nudge it out of the way of the yellow, and rest them both on the cushion, and he just underhit it.
Martin now can play the clock a little bit. 120 left. He could clear in less time if he wanted, but he just needs to take this close enough to zero that it's academic.
Yeah, with balls over pockets. This is all but the done, isn't it? Land on his next ball and he should be there.
Has to be.
Oh, has he landed on the next ball? Does this one go into the middle? The one he's nearest to? I think it does. He's got the one at the top of the table if not.
Yeah, I think he's okay.
He's decided to go to the one at the top of the table, I think. Yeah.
There's no great surprise. He shouldn't need to pot his final yellow and the black. This should get him just about there.
Yeah, if he drops this in, yeah, there just isn't enough time. That is going to be the win for Martin.
Very nicely played. Brilliant work from Martin Mcintosh. A lovely finish as well. Will he give us a champagne black up the rail to really set the seal? Not quite, it doesn't matter. Martin Mcintosh is going to win it. 4-4, the final set will end. He wins it by a set and a half to half a point. And Martin Mcintosh takes the $5,000 home with him. We'll speak to Mad Mac after the break. Well, welcome back to the Shootout Showdown here on Free Sports. Two absolutely fantastic matches tonight. £9,000 has been distributed, and the recipient of 5 of those £1,000 is with us right now. Martin Mcintosh joins us, a victor over Zak Shepherd. Martin, you were called out by Zak live on TV. You were sat watching at home, and your first instinct was thought, yeah, I'll have a bit of that. And you've come down and you've got the victory. How do you feel?
Horrible. Just a horrible game. But I did say don't call me out.
It was a strange one, wasn't it? Because there was moments there where it felt like you were in total command, playing some brilliant stuff, and then that last frame in particular seemed to really set the heart racing in the worst way possible.
Yeah, I do this every game, like in control, lose control. I need some serious coaching, and then if I can just get that bit right, I think I could become good one day, but that was just bad.
Congratulations, Martin. Although you're frustrated with the way you played, you must be pleased to get the win. But I want to ask you about that. Looked like you were cruising a little bit in that second set. You missed one really careless ball that allowed him into it. Then you had the golden break, and then you fouled in that last frame. What was going through your mind when you made that foul? Were you expecting him to come up with a finish?
I did, yeah. But he played a bad shot himself. I don't even know. I'm just like, just make sure you touch the cushion. Make sure, and then bang! I never touched the cushion, so I thought, oh well, here we go. Shout to shoot out now. So, but he was shocking as well. So,
you're such a well-known player on the circuit in money matches in particular. Do you ever manage to actually enjoy them, or is it just almost too much stress on it to really almost take it in?
I never get stressed. Like, I'm probably the opposite. I maybe go too calm in a game and think of one when I've not. Like I've done that plenty of times, having a big lead and I lose it all. Like every game I play, I'm in a massive lead and then somehow let the player back in and I did it last weekend against that Tom as well, but I did that on purpose to let him back in for the rematch and then he beat me. No, I'm joking.
Well, whichever way it goes, Martin, it is certainly never dull. It is always entertaining. And we thank you so much for your efforts. Congratulations on the 5,000 quid.
Cheers, Paul.
All right, Martin Mcintosh, a big well done to him. Commiserations to Zak Shepherd. And we'll be back next week with some more Shootout Showdowns from myself and Si and the team here. We'll see you then.
Too fast, too fly, too flaunty, too gas, too high, yeah, we on it. We go wherever the crew going. I'm ready, so tell me who want it.
This program is brought to you by Town Billiards.